Thank you. There you go. It feels like that jacket is actually like a it's very much like a Boston. Like I imagine it would look really good in Goodwill Hunting. Are you settled in? Are you settled in?
I'm settled in.
All right, let's put the headphones on. Let's make sure I can hear myself fine. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine.
Can you hear yourself fine?
I can.
All right. I think we're good.
I'm going to go.
We're PP'd out.
I haven't done this ever.
You haven't turned your phone on silent?
Vibrate on silent. There we go.
Aww. So nice of you.
Let me get rid of this one, too.
Okay.
Why I have two phones, don't ask.
I think it's because of your work, motherfucker.
I know. I don't like to admit it, though.
You're also a very social creature. You're very... No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not, though. I bring gifts, though.
What did you bring?
That doesn't... That's nothing special, but...
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I saw the email.
Oh, okay, good. I figured...
This is a very secret email that we will not be talking about on the...
printer, and then that's my pepperoni stick. I have an addiction to pepperoni sticks from Safeway.
That's really gross. You also seem like the type of person who would have... You really enjoy those bagged pickles.
No, I can't do it.
You're like Alex Green in that way.
Okay. I don't need the envelope, but here you go.
What is this?
I've had that sitting at my house for a while.
What is it? Hang on.
Dun-dun!
Ah, yay! Thank you very much. December 3rd. We're all going to be going to the 9-inch nails. What in the fuck kind of... Oh, it's the 9-inch nails envelope. All right. I'm like, what in the fuck kind of envelope is this? That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
I'm still a little bummed.
You're going?
Yeah, but I was bummed that whole thing happened where it was waiting outside to get concert tickets. and I was out of town.
Because you wanted the story? It's not like he was there.
It wasn't that I wanted the story. It's that I missed that. I didn't get to do it very often. Really, I don't think I ever did it at all. Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is a truthful podcast.
I guess we're just going.
This is yours, by the way.
I got lots of shit.
Yeah.
The first concert tickets I ever waited for was 1994, I think.
Okay.
And Pearl Jam was playing Soldier Field.
That's pretty cool.
And 4 of us waited outside. God, what was the mall? We waited outside the mall. Now, that was back in the days when there was no internet. Really at all. So you couldn't look up the latest Pearl Jam news. You had to this is going on the floor.
Okay. You can put it on the golf bag. You can put it wherever you like.
It can go on the floor. It was. This
is a very Alex Steele episode so far.
I throw all my shit on the floor.
I just said your last name.
Oh.
I can always cut it out later.
No, it's all good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Conservative episode. What is this? 6. Our guest today is Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hello.
You can breathe anytime you'd like.
I got to tell you, I haven't listened to any. I started listening to our friend Jake.
I don't know if that's the best representation of what the podcast is.
But I didn't want to. We'll come back to the concert ticket thing.
Sure. Maybe.
I didn't want to listen to all of them.
Okay.
In the fear that I would change whatever I might talk about by listening to these other ones.
Okay.
So I stayed away from it. Because I'm like, I don't want to change my tone and do something weird because I've listened to all these other ones and I'm gonna I was listening to the one with Jake and I was like, you fucking dummy.
Yeah, most people feel that way about little Jake. You are very much like Pollo Del Mar, though, I must say. The way that
one I want to listen to.
That one's
he's a gorgeous man.
He really is. Yeah.
But I wanted to stay away from it because coming in today, and even since Allie really asked you, which was already weird.
Wait, what did Allie ask me?
Well, she texted you that it was like Alex wants to be on your podcast, and
I think that's just her. I mean, I didn't have to say yes. I wanted to say yes.
That's why I love her, though.
Okay.
Because she'll do for me what I can't do for myself sometimes.
Okay.
And I just recently, in the last few days of sort of waking up and self-reflection and stuff like that, realized that for a long time, I don't know if it's been my entire life. I haven't gone, this is 2 days in of thinking about this stuff and writing some shit down.
Right.
I've been so insecure over everything to the point of antisocial.
Yeah.
And ideas and thoughts that I would have, I would be terrified to talk about in fear. I don't even know if it was in fear of ridicule as much as it was the atmosphere I was around, whether it was, with these people over here, or these people over here. In my insecurity always said, what if you're wrong?
Right.
And what's changed in recent times, and just the last, really kind of since February or something, is this almost innate ability to just question everything.
Yeah. Yeah, you seem like a guy who's done that pretty easily, except for when it's like, okay, let me put that a different way.
No, you put it perfectly. Because it's when my insecurity flares up, I'll just agree.
Okay.
Or I'll just shun it down and be like, you're a moron.
Right.
And then walk away and just think and then walk away feeling like crap. Feeling like I should have had a conversation that I was afraid to have because I am so uninformed.
But you do realize that everything, obviously we've talked about it before, but everything before, you needed to be that insecure piece of shit in order to be the person that you are now.
Absolutely.
What I do with it, and this is through lots of inventory recently as well, is the idea that I don't, I was talking about this. I don't think I've let myself receive love in a long time, even when I'm supposed to, like in a relationship. Like even when it's like, this is the time. If there's ever a time, just let it happen, Pete. That's the time. I just can't. I'm just afraid. And so what I do is I act instantly better than, or, and I act like, big cock, whatever, or I just shrink into like, whatever you say, man, it's hard to have that in.
I've wanted to kick your ass sometimes, and you've wanted to kick my ass sometimes, and here we are sitting across the table from each other.
When I don't know, did we ever? Oh yeah, we did. I remember Oklahoma. Yeah, that was a bad one.
I don't even know why it got directed at me. I was an asshole, but it was like I wasn't the prime target at the time, but I was far enough away.
Well, listen. Bottom line is, I'm spraying it everywhere because I was already in a bad situation.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Not made better by the people we were around. I mean, let's be fucking real if you want to be real.
Yeah. And I don't want to start bashing people.
No, of course not. Of course not.
And I love them, and I love everything that got it's what you said. It's that, how do you find that love of being insecure? Because it's so utterly uncomfortable. Just having all this stuff go on in my... I went to college for far too many years. And I paid attention pretty well. One, I probably did too many drugs to not pay attention when I was out in Colorado. But I focused a lot of stuff around philosophy and sociology, and I lost all that. When I moved here and things started to change, for the better, of course.
Like when you got sober, or before you got sober? Okay. That brought on this weird... I put on a weird mentality that things I learned were law. Right. And through that, all of these old things that I learned were sort of just... I don't want to say they were like horseshit, but they just got totally pushed to a side. What things?
Just all the philosophy talk, all the thoughts about life, all the thoughts about people, the sociology part of it. I had a lot of like anarchy stuff when I was in college and when I was in high school, because I ingrained myself into trying to figure out, like, not how the government is bullshit, but
did you ever wear black fingernail polish?
I tried to be. I mean, let's not go into all of the different
we're gonna
fucking
absolutely. But we'll get to it. Continue.
I think I did. If I didn't do that, I painted them with black Sharpie, which is actually worse because it's harder to come off. But I had this teacher in high school. And in the high school I went to, you had to pass like the Constitution test. I don't know if anybody even has this anymore, but you study the Constitution. And he was this really, really good history teacher. And he was also like the head football coach. So he was like rough and tumble and like did not fuck around.
Did you grow up in Maine? What the fuck are you?
No, I grew up in Illinois.
Oh, okay. It's the same thing.
I went to high school in Aurora, Illinois.
Oh, very nice.
So all those who know Wayne's World was not in Aurora, Illinois.
No.
It was in San Diego or something. But, and I was thinking about this recently, he taught us stuff, not so much that what I took from him and the perception that I got of the government and all this kind of stuff was that it's not the president's fault. It never is. There's other people. There's other pieces in going in all different other directions. So to go like, this is the president's fault, and this is the guy we're voting for. He's like, I got this from him. Fuck voting for the president.
Okay.
It's a popularity contest.
Right.
And even if the people vote one way, it goes the other way. I think it happened this last election. I didn't really pay attention because it was so just. I'm not on social media. I'm on Facebook, and my Facebook time is about 5 minutes a day.
Right.
And it's literally just scroll, MMA news, cars, and ignore people.
Of course, because you're the only person in the Bay Area who hasn't heard the conservative podcast all 4 episodes so far. So continue.
But they're on there. They're ready to go.
I know.
So I did that. I didn't vote for years.
Right.
And I didn't pay attention to anything for years, which made me quite the hypocrite for being like, I'm all about anarchy and fuck the government. Yet I'm not informed of the government whatsoever.
Right.
And
seems like a lot of anti-government, a lot of the Antifa anarchy type of people are very not so informed as well.
I only looked up Antifa, what it was about. Really? Hold on, let me see.
Did you?
When was I on the phone? About 3 hours ago. I don't know anything really? That's going on.
Good for you. It's better for you. I
have stayed completely out of it because I have just heard the most outlandish, crazy things from people who are, I know, smart, yet believe that because I've read this one, and I was going to talk about this. I brought my little notebook thing, but this 20-second lifestyle world we live in, these people that I know are smart people and have been through some shit.
Right.
That live off the one headline and the 5-minute YouTube video and the misinterpretation of somebody's comments and then go, that is truth.
Right.
And diving farther into it, I'd heard, I've heard other people talk.
Point the mic a little closer to you.
I heard other people talk about getting educated and going to college, and they've learned stuff in college. Right. And then I've gotten recently into how much that's even screwed up.
Right.
How much what's being taught to people nowadays is so leaning one side that kids are coming out of college and they're completely uninformed of what's going on. And when I got to college, one, I was a mess. I mean, I was trying to stay off drugs. I couldn't stay off drugs.
Where did you first go to school?
Colorado. So I moved to Denver.
From Illinois.
On my own. Didn't know a single person. I knew one girl who was a family friend, but I think I'd met her once. And she was like smart and I was a junkie. Right. And I got to school. And this is how bad it was. And this goes back to like wearing, the nail polish and all that. I got to school and I wanted so bad to not do drugs anymore. I wanted so bad to not get in trouble.
Right. How old were you?
I was 18.
Okay.
And I had a hell of from February till whenever I left for college. I had a hell of a few years of. I got into the rave scene and I was a raver and it was just bad. I thought I had found myself in drugs, and as that started to wear out, it was like I'm just a drug addict.
Yeah.
But I got there and I was like, I can change this. So I was like, I don't know anything about straight edge, but I became straight edge.
Like Jake talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about straight edge. I don't know anything. I barely listen to punk rock. I mean, the punk rock I listen to...
Right, but it's desperate. It's desperate for a different identity. When we're desperate for a different identity, we'll do all kinds of stupid, uninformed things.
So that night, I get to school. I go to the dorms. My parents are staying somewhere else. And this is way off the political talk. This is history. That night, I go out. And you're supposed to go to the house parties and meet people.
This is your first night at the college?
My first night in Colorado.
Right.
You're supposed to go out, meet people, hang out. I don't remember who I went out with. I still can't remember. I think it was 2 guys that were down the hallway from me that were the nicest guys. They were 2, very good guys. They were just...
Right. It's always bad when we get people who are nice in our crosshairs and we just...
These guys...
chew them up.
Oh, no, that's not what happened. These guys always, sort of had my back... And they were nice to me. I mean, I'm not a hated guy. I wasn't an angry drunk. I wasn't an angry drug user. I didn't really rip people off that often. And when I did, I usually made it right. I was a pretty decent. I came from the Midwest. You just treat people right. But I think I went out with these guys, and they were baseball players, so they already knew a bunch of people. And I turned down drinking. But for some reason, this girl came up to me who's this crazy LA girl, and I don't like California because I'm from the Midwest, and California is just, there are a bunch of nut jobs there.
Right.
You want to do some acid? Well, yes, I do.
Right.
I'm in a tree fort in somebody's backyard. I eat 4 hits of acid, and and I go back to my dorm room of all places, and I'm watching a crappy, I don't even remember what movie I watched, but I'm watching a movie on my little 16-inch computer monitor with her and I'm like, I got to say bye to my parents in the morning.
Right.
And then I got to play this off like this didn't happen.
This was just a couple of hours after you decided to be straight edge?
Yeah, about 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
But then from there, it just got worse. Then from there, I actually showed up to an English class, and they were like, "Tell us about yourself." And I'm like, "I'm Alex. I'm from Illinois, and I'm straight edge." And it was like, "Oh shit."
Oh no, yeah.
I lasted for about 3 days, and then I just became, and then it was just a mess. And college was horrible. College was worse than high school, because I lived in the dorms. I didn't have a car. I didn't know anybody. I was an 18-year-old kid that was completely lost, that had no real bearings on what to do, but I surrounded myself with people that I'm still friends with, even though I have complete lack of communication with them. I'm still friends with today because they saved my life those years. Although we were getting really, really screwed up, they were the thing that held me together. And me and my friend, we would take these philosophy classes together. We'd take sociology together, and we'd get really into this stuff.
Sure. And
although there was a lot of cocaine involved and then sometimes speed, but I was pressed by this teacher just to think for yourself, believe whatever you want to believe. And so my government thing, because that was just too much work to be informed. And I did other projects in school about anarchy and the government and all that stuff, and took some history, but not very much. A lot more business classes, which just made me want to take over everything. But it moved into that sociology side, that studying of people and groups of people and how people react and how people work.
Right.
And it's only recent that insecurity dropped enough where I finally feel free enough to start looking at it. And don't feel, I don't want to say ashamed, but I don't feel like I have to hide. But doing this is still really uncomfortable.
Yeah, why? I mean, because I was thinking, I've had this experience multiple times of asking people to be on, and I can understand, unfortunately, I talked about this last week. I may be able to have the Proud Boys on. Do you know who the Proud Boys are?
Yeah, I loved when we talked last. I love that So my first view, which will probably get me shit from somebody that I don't know at all, and that is not why I'm nervous talking about this stuff.
Okay.
I don't really. I have my views. You have your views.
Yeah, it's not important.
What? No, it is important though. We need to talk about it.
Yes, but it's unimportant. Meaning,
yeah.
Yeah.
I loved. I got on Facebook and I saw it and I'm like, how the hell are the Proud Boys? Like, what the hell?
Right.
Like, I figured you had like some like group of gays like in Proud Boys. I'm like, it's a bunch of gay people in here. I'm like, this will be interesting.
So what he's talking about, what Alex is talking about, is that I wanted to have the Proud Boys on. The Proud Boys are a group of dudes. They're kind of fratty, kind of broy, but in general, like they're nice motherfuckers. It seems. And even from saying that, I'm sure I'll have some people. I'm just gonna stop listening. Feel free to stop listening. Kisses. Bye. But really, ultimately, it's a group of people who are Western chauvinists, and what that means to them, not to everyone else, and what everyone else believes what chauvinist means, but to them it means that they're proud of America, they're proud of the Western culture, and they don't want to apologize for the good things the West have done. There's black people in the Proud Boys, there are gay people in the Proud Boys, Mexicans everywhere, but online they are touted as a group of people who are racist, who are neo-Nazis, who are alt-right, who are this, who are that,
which is coming from the alt-left.
Correct.
We have to always be careful where the neo-Nazi shit's coming from, because it's coming from it's not coming from people like me that's in the middle. That's going. I don't even know if I'm in the middle. I don't know what side I am. I don't even know.
Well, what's important is that we definitely wrench it down tonight, and that's the final verdict forever. No, but we're
gonna have a long fucking night.
So I posted about the fact that these guys, I wanted to have them on, and I knew what I was doing. I absolutely, I was poking a hornet's nest. But not just because it's not just for the attention, sure, but also because it's fun. I like doing it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things, and I do it well. But I posted about it, and some people got mad. And there were a couple of people who were like, there was one guy who said, deleted.
I love it. And I wish I was thinking about trying to pull it up right now just so I could give him the satisfaction of getting the attention he wanted by writing deleted. Like, I don't need to know that you deleted me. Yeah. I don't really care.
Right. Well, the guy who I mean, because ultimately, that guy really was not an important friend anyway. I mean, when it's Facebook, it's not really important anyway. But this guy was just a guy I did a comedy show with maybe 4 years ago. Oh well, sad times that who I haven't talked to since, except to maybe share my GoFundMe campaign because I was, trying to spread that everywhere. But the bottom line is, I posted that and I wanted to have them on, and then apparently they got doxxed. And what doxing is, Antifa apparently found out, through hacking or whatever, what the names and family members and addresses and phone numbers of these people are, and then, it filtered that out to their members so that they could, just to really threaten and fuck with the people. And so... Right. And so the Proud Boys were like, hey, you know what? We're gonna have to reschedule because we don't want to, have this happen. And I'm sure, hopefully now it looks like I am going to be able to have them on and they can explain it more. But ultimately, I posted that. And why did we start talking about this?
Because I really wanted to talk about the guy that wrote deleted.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and how that is so much the world we live in now. Like,
right.
I just don't get it. Like, I just don't understand people needing. I guess I don't understand people needing attention. Probably because you were talking about it earlier, how you just can't be loved, and I have that problem. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend hates it, and I don't show emotion either.
Right.
I don't have normal people emotions, and I blame it on drugs because I just think it's
not fucking drugs. You're just an insecure little monkey like the rest of us.
I mean, hey, I cried last night watching the end of The Office. We finally finished. The Office,
dude. I fucking woke up this morning. I saw a friend of mine the other day. Holy shit, that shit is so sad. That shit is so fucking sad.
The last 3 episodes of The Office was like tearjerker, and I'm like, I'm crying, like, and I didn't want. She's on top of me, like we call it in the pocket, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, don't make it know that you're crying right now, and she's bawling.
Right.
She wouldn't know anyways. But it's just so, it's the world we live in with people like that just need this little bit of attention. And for what? I mean, yesterday, I find this, people's lives are so fucking small. Mm-hmm. Yesterday at my work, and I work with office buildings and stuff, somebody threw a cigarette butt in the bushes and it started a fire.
Oh, that's nice.
Not a big fire, but it was a big enough fire.
Sure.
Fire department comes. It's all out. They're gone. There's 3 of us sitting around. This guy who had nothing to do with it walked up and took a picture of
so he can post
the bushes. And I'm like, this guy's probably a great guy. Sure. I have no doubt about it.
Right.
But it's like, there's something that has gotten so lost. And I think it's especially in California where everything is like, I've got to make enough money to survive.
Sure.
But your life has gotten so small that like, you're going to take a picture of that.
Right.
And it's like, oh man. Like,
so I think it's ultimately the attention thing, but I also think, like when we were talking about a second ago, the reason why I say philosophy and what side you're on ultimately does not matter is because it really doesn't. When you and I sit down, whoever you and I are, what it is human connection is fucking all that matters. Real ass human connection is fucking all that matters. And so when it comes, why this immediate reaction culture and why this insanity makes me so angry is because I do know people who are on both sides who are great people, and in the middle who are great people, and people who post in stupid shit who are not as vapid as they seem on Facebook, and then I know people who don't post anything who are super vapid, you know what I mean, and find it other ways, and their identity is like, oh, I'm just a love peaceful earth mama. Like, no, you're just a douche, like you're just doing the same thing. Like, you can't wait to tell me that you don't have a Facebook. You can't wait to show me your flip phone. You just, and so, I don't know. I mean, we all have our identity stuff.
Which has gotten lost.
Right.
Because of the influx of social media.
Sure.
Now I remember why we were going to talk about those guys.
Don't even pull it near your face. Just point it.
Just point it.
Point it at your mouth.
I think I moved.
All right, there you go.
I came up with this thing, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's a week old, but I called it.
How can you have notes?
I can't.
I'm the host, and I don't have notes.
I can't read most of them. What the fuck did I call it? Because it goes back to it does go back to a unified conflict.
Okay, what's that?
So I came up with this, and it's nothing I've got is original ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what I've ever written down right now is there's 100 questions for every 2 comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched, which is an amazing video. It's Noam Chomsky's, or whatever, Noam Chomsky's, whatever his name is.
I like Norm better.
I know. Hate socialism, but the guy's right on a lot of... He made the documentary Requiem for an American Dream, and it was on Netflix for a while. And although a lot of it goes into the economy and the way big business is screwing up the economy, and it's like, yeah, that is such a huge overtaking that a guy like me ain't gonna fix it.
Right.
There is nothing. There may be something very, very small I can do, and I may even be doing it. But at this very moment, I don't know yet. But he talked about how the problem that's happened in this country is that we've given everybody a voice.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, go ahead.
And in giving everyone a voice, it's become who can yell at who louder.
Right.
And then what makes it exciting to go on the march or whatever? Like, what's the cool thing? I heard a good one, which was the whole like Oakland thing where it was the 1% thing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know why that failed and it didn't happen again, right? And the guy was like, I don't know. They're like, because it wasn't fucking exciting.
Right.
because it was boring, and like most of the people didn't know what the hell was going on, and there were police that were faking that they were protesters, and there were people in the crowd that were 1%ers just trying to get people riled up,
right?
To just get the reaction, so that it turned into like shit that went on in like Charlottesville. Like there are people, I don't know how much of a conspiracy theorist I am, but I'm 100% certain that there are people out there that are just trying to stir up shit to get sides to yell at each other, so that we can never have a conversation.
Right. And that's what this podcast is.
Right.
So it's I agree with you, and I was going to say, why, everyone thinks they have a platform. It's easy to say when I started a fucking podcast. Both of us think we have a platform right now. And but the difference is, and maybe this is because I have the structure of filters in my life, the spirituality, whatever, the people. And as long as I keep that structure alive and vibrant and fresh, that filter will continue to help me to check myself, when necessary, and take myself with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of this, of calling it conservative. She said, yeah, I'm pretty conservative, but I'm also kind of liberal, and I also don't really know what I'm talking about sometimes.
I like the gays, and I like shooting guns.
Yeah, like, and not just that, but I think it's kind of, we're all kind of okay, and I think the difference is, maybe not the guy with taking the picture of a bush, because that's, can't extrapolate too much on that, but a lot of the motherfuckers who are marching for the 99% or whatever don't find that, okay, I have this feeling in my belly. Let me research it. Let me not post right away. Let me think about this. Let me give it a fucking day. Just give it a day. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to post something and just like, okay, just give it an hour. And then an hour later, I'm like, ugh, like I have to rewrite it, or I don't post it at all. Cause I'm just, it would be me, it's me not wanting to do the work of the research. It's me not wanting, and not just do the work of the research, but I do have to not dehumanize the motherfucker that I'm angry at. We all do it. We all do it, but I can't say, what was I saying? I was, I posted Pollo Del Mar, the drag queen. She talked about in the podcast episode about getting in trouble online for people, for her doing some really fucked up jokes. She said this great joke, and I'll repeat it. She said, I'm fuck it. No one is fucking me. Just no one is fucking me. My sex life is so empty. It makes me even want to just douse myself, or what did he say? It makes me want to give myself a Jello pudding pop, so that he can be raped. That's the ultimate joke. Anyway, so he got mad from some people who are, humorless and whatever. But I posted that, and I wanted to say, look at this fucking piece of shit who posted. Let me actually just read the picture. So this lady.
Oh, great.
It's always a lady. I'm sorry, girls, but you just, anyway, or someone effeminate. Anyway, so is this lady who, here it is. She said, so Pollo got announced that she was going to be one of the MCs for a Folsom Street Fair main stage, and someone posted, wait, you're having Pollo of the rape jokes? Love intensive Claire, but many women boycott Pollo. Ugh, gross person. You know what I mean? Like, what a gross person. And so I wanted to say, what a gross person. And then I was like, yeah, I can't judge all of their life based on that. I dislike what she did. I dislike the cavalier, childish, judgmental labeling, without any context. Pollo of the rape jokes. It really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Pollo of the rape jokes. Like rape jokes, right? Like rape jokes. First things first, there are a lot of fucking funny rape jokes. Okay, yeah. First things first. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been laughing at guys, dropping the soap for so long. And the second thing is, she just tacked that on to a nice announcement. I don't want to I need to let you know what I think about what your decision is. But ultimately, what I mean is that I couldn't just judge this person wholesale.
Yeah, for how much I would love to just bash that person. Just bash them. Maybe
with what though?
I don't know.
You're a man of tools.
I know. Which tool do I want to use?
Yeah, right.
There's an even bigger part of me that just wants to go up to that person face to face and just say, was it worth it?
Yeah.
That's it. And not in a way where I want to have you start yelling at me. Because another thing I like talking to a lot of people about is if we go, and it goes with this like unified conflict idea of like we need to sit down with the people we oppose.
Right.
But we need to realize that we are in conflict right away. We have conflicting ideas, right? I don't know about you and me. I think
we do.
Probably.
But that's
okay. But those people need to sit down and know full well we have conflicting ideas.
Right.
No one's going to win this conversation.
Right.
But we're going to have a conversation. Again, everything I just said.
But it's competition for attention and love. It's competition. I need to fight for me and my attention and that good feeling in my belly. We need to fight. Fuck you. But Jesus Christ.
The people that need that are the people that aren't the ones actually doing the talking. Those are the ones doing the yelling.
Right.
And the ones that are actually doing the talking are quiet.
Yeah.
And they're only now slowly starting to become more brought in and being addressed a little bit better. And the problem that we have right now, and it's going to change because these radical sides can't last.
Right.
I mean, the hypocrisy that goes on within all of them and just the uninformed things going on. Like somebody's going to go a little too far. Right. I mean, it's already happened a lot. Sure. But somebody's going to go too far and things are going to fall apart and everyone's going to come back and it's going to be the growth that always happens in this world.
Right.
But if people can't come together and sit down together and know there is a conflict, but know that we can come to some type of unification by just sitting down and having a conversation.
Right.
And then I mean, it's like shut off the comments. Don't let anybody comment on it. Mm-hmm. Don't take any. But then it's like, how the hell do you do that? Because human nature is I need to feel fulfilled, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people just live off the comments,
right? And not just that, but as a like. And I had to find my own balance, and I'm still kind of finding it. But I had to find my own balance as a person who, as an artist and as a musician and as a podcaster, I've had to find what's a healthy amount of posting or a healthy amount of, well, I do need to keep comments on, and I do need to get attention, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, and not validation attention, but I do need to, because here's the thing, is it's not just for my own ability to make more, but people, for some reason, and I'm not trying to say it's it's all because of me, but people like the podcast. Like, okay, so if that needs to reach more people so that it brings more joy or freedom or conversation, then I need to be able to, I need to give money to Facebook so that they can promote the shit, so that people can actually see it. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, these free spaces are just not fucking free spaces,
What do you mean?
So like as an example, on my artist page, I have two pages. I have personal and I have an artist page. The artist page, sometimes my posts will get viewed by maybe 30 people or less sometimes.
This is your artist page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's the only reason why I know that is because it's tracked. So that Facebook can go, give me money, press this button that says boost this post.
There's a boost this post shit.
Yeah. And so I pay $3, $6, $20 sometimes for the big stuff that I really need attention for. And then people who like my page, not motherfuckers who don't like my page, but people who like my page. The over 700 people who like my page currently will get a chance to see it. Otherwise, maybe they might see it, maybe they might not. The algorithm decides, right?
I hate Facebook.
Yeah. And not just that, by the way, the algorithm does not fucking decide. I gotta say something. I cannot tell you how many times I have hidden and blocked Now This. Have you ever heard of Now This? or now this politics, now this comedy, now this. Mm-mm. So now this is this, same thing as BuzzFeed and, whatever. And these companies that are Salon, they're very left and they're very attention-getting and they're very like, oh, watch this video, blah, 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 blah. And so I've successfully blocked BuzzFeed from my feed or whatever the fuck. But I cannot for some reason block Now This. I have blocked them over and over. And Facebook continues to say, hey, look, your friend shared this Now This from politics. I don't want to fucking listen to your platform. I don't agree with Now This. I don't want to fucking see it. So when I hide it, let me fucking hide it. But Facebook doesn't fucking want you to. Facebook wants you to pay, and they want to continue to push the agenda, rather than have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, people are going too far. Charlottesville is part of that, but the reaction to Charlottesville is just as bad. Oh. I know people are going to say, wait, a lady died and that's equal to, yeah, it is, in my opinion. Maybe not, all right, maybe I'm using hyperbole, but I mean, fucking, for the love of God, the reaction to Charlottesville.
Let's just, so that I can put anything I say from here in context. A very, very good friend of mine is a Nazi.
Oh, really? Nice.
He's in prison.
Oh, yeah, we know him.
We know him. Now he's gotten out for the most part.
Right. Of the gang.
Of the gang. Yeah. But I mean, all over him is all this
Nazi
stuff, and to talk to him about what went on there, and him just shake his head, and just go, those are the stupid ones. That's not what we're about.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Right.
But then also be like, so how much of being a dork like I am, I'm like, so how much of American History X is true? And he's like, oh, most of it. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, all right, so this is this is legit.
The butthole rape, or are you talking about
all of it? The way they would rob the stores, the way they would do all that stupid shit that they did, but he these are people that I never thought I'd ever even have a relationship with.
And he's friends and has close relationships with black people and with Jews.
His best friend, yeah, I mean, his best friends are a Crip, I don't know, a Southerner, and a Jew.
Right.
And they all get along together.
Right.
And it's an amazing thing to go have these conversations with. It really is. The yellow brick road.
A butthole rape.
It's such a strange.
Really rolls
place.
Off the tongue. Butthole rape. I gotta tell you, butthole rape just feels good. Anyway, continue. Not the actual. All right, sorry. Continue.
Not the. I never have the act of butthole rape. Thank God.
Continue. Yeah. No. But the other thing is that the reaction to what happened in Charlottesville, and just say our president is a Nazi and our president is like. Listen.
No, our president's a fucking moron.
Thank you. But I also would absolutely vote for him. I'm sorry. But like, especially in what has been offered so far. Yeah, I'm sorry I would. Like, here's what I think about Trump. I think he's childish. I think he's emotionally immature. I think he's got way too much freedom to use Twitter. But I've also had people tell me that that's on purpose, that's a good thing, that he's using Twitter to get people, and fine, whatever, I might be on board with that. But ultimately, God, I say ultimately too much. I apologize. What were we talking about? We were saying
your love of Donald Trump.
Exactly. I'm all one side, of course. Yes. But like, I'm sorry. I don't think the motherfucker's a Nazi. I think he's childish. I think he may have some residual, a little bit of, judgment of other races. But give me one fucking person who doesn't. I'm sorry. Some racism's okay. Some racism is okay.
I heard that, and it's very much true. I have racism against Uber drivers. I heard the whole driving thing, and you're like Asian drivers, and I was like, fucking Uber drivers.
There you go.
They're worse than anybody.
Sure.
They just stop.
And a lot of them are Middle Eastern or Asian.
Oh no, I've seen a lot of white people too. So it doesn't care. You put that sticker on your car, you can drive like shit.
Do you have any valid racism? Not jobism. I'm saying racism.
Do I have any valid racism? Not really.
So Patrice O'Neill, my favorite comedian, he put it like this: are you racist or are you racial? Racial is like racism light. Racial is like, here we go. All right, I'm gonna have to. Okay, racism is like I fucking hate who you are, who they are, based on what that is or what my experience is, and I actively I just don't. I don't. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I want to just throw something on top of that. That idea of racist. Mm-hmm. Those people who call people Nazis. Let's go back a little bit, sure. and this is a little bit of stuff that I've heard. These people aren't Nazis. They're not starting concentration camps to create their own race of people. They are very much just saying hey, we kind of just want to be left the fuck alone, and
we don't like illegal immigration.
Even that but their basis of that is. And you've got to realize it's coming from Middle America, where they don't even really deal with it. I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm from the Midwest, and they want to talk about illegal immigration. And guess what?
It's coming into Texas. And California.
I think I just saw the numbers of how many illegal immigrants there are that have come in, and I don't remember what the number was. It was and how they even counted this. Who knows? But California was 3 million or something of the population right now, and it's and Middle America, it's and I'm not going to quote numbers, but it's in the six figures, maybe.
Right.
And guess what? The argument that I've always had against the whole illegal immigration thing is, if you want to do the fucking job they're doing, then go do it.
Right. But I don't hear so much the job thing. But anyway, we can get into that. But so... What I think is that the left, if you want to call it, the leftists or the alt left, like you were saying, that those people have branded really well. It takes really well. Make America Great Again is a great just like a little and agree to disagree. We can dissect it, but
do you know where it
easy
came
to
from?
put it on a fucking hat. It's easy to say at a rally. It's easy to get people to move. Right? It's a catchy jingle. And guess what? Calling a motherfucker racist and branding him, because that is the Scarlet R. Once you brand a movement or a political idea or an idea about, once you brand that racist, that sticks. You cannot wash that off. Yeah, there you go.
I've heard that argument. If you call somebody racist and you've got enough backing behind it, it's no different than calling them a rapist.
Yeah.
It follows them around the rest of their lives, and you are branded as that no matter what you do.
Right.
No, the Make America Great Again thing is funny, because I think it came from the Ronald Reagan campaign in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just stolen. But nobody knows that. Everyone, we're making America great again. It's America's fucking great as it is. Some nut job's not going to make it any better.
Right. But there are so many people. So it's this side reacting to that side who reacted to that side when they reacted to that side. And it's just but when you sit down across from a motherfucker, I know, like you were saying, the whatever you called it, unified conflict. I don't agree 100% with what Pollo Del Mar was talking about. We had some, towards the end, we had some okay, I agree, all right, and we're massaging this idea down the road. Do I hate her, though? No. But I know going in that we might disagree on some things? Yes. But I had her in because I wanted her life experience, and I wanted to talk about some of the things that we did agree on. And we had a great fucking time, and it was a wonderful episode. I'm really happy about that. But I don't have to agree with someone 100% to have them on the podcast. That's the thing about the Proud Boys. Some of the people who were my friend, was saying, how could you give a platform to these people? Or just because I have them on the podcast doesn't mean I agree with 100% of what they say or do. I don't even need to talk. And I told this to the boys who before I was like, you can talk about Proud Boys, and we probably will, knowing me and knowing the podcast and having a long form conversation. But even if you just want to talk about your fucking band or talk about life shit or talk about your family or talk about whatever. You can keep your anonymity. You can call yourself Mr. X. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have humans on and connect with them. That's what matters to me. And showing that to other people, like, hey, you fucking, and then just rubbing leftist face in it. Like, there you go, Antifa. Smell it. The humanity, you cocksucker.
if I gotta say, if Antifa gets a platform, then why don't these other people get a platform?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, really, why don't? Now, I'm not for like KKK marches and shit like that. Sure. I think that's just.
But there's like 5 of them. There's like 5 of them. Anyway, sorry, continue.
And they're not even here. They're in places where these people don't even exist.
They're in Illinois, probably.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Illinois Nazis.
Right.
A good throwback to one of my favorite movies.
What is it?
The Blues Brothers.
Oh.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a long time.
It's a very good movie. No, going back to Trump, and I'm not going to ask you who you voted for because I think it was all fucked up anyways.
Right. I voted first for Bernie and then for Hillary begrudgingly. But even then, looking back,
wasn't it so big? And you know, and maybe you can relate with me. It was a time in my life, and this is when my shit started to really turn.
What shit?
Where there was the group of people I was around and I surrounded myself with. Mm-hmm. So much political talk started to get woven into the narrative of our lives.
Sure.
And a lot of it was coming from a side that I don't know sides. I don't even know what Democrat and Republican is. I don't really care.
Right.
But it was coming from a side that I was like, really? Yeah. It just bugged me because it was why do you have to be so damn loud? I don't understand. If you believe in something and you love it, there is no reason you need to be so goddamn loud about it. You should just be able to just talk about it and be like, this is it. And there was the whole Bernie thing. I mean, here especially you can go, Bernie. And like, Bernie's a crazy old dude.
Yeah, he is.
Who knows if he was good? That was like, and rest his soul. But like when John McCain was looking to become president or whatever, like I went and saw Guar, and Guar had him on stage and he's doing his thing. And if you haven't been to a Guar show, go. But he was on stage and they were doing the spoof on him, and then they had 2 Viet Cong come out and he freaked out and like ran off the stage, and then they killed him and he killed them, and it was like, this is a guy that's got serious PTSD probably, and we're gonna stick him in to be president. Like, that's just a great idea.
Right.
But like, it was like Bernie's a nut job. Hillary, who knows? Like,
there's some fucking crazy.
Who knows? I started to read some stuff, and then I was just like, I can't do it. I really can't. I don't want to go. I don't want to be an angry 17-year-old ever again, and I don't want to go down that path because I don't know what's true and what's false. I'm just like, what can I do to focus on myself right here, right now, and the people around me to better this world?
Yeah,
because that's all I can do.
Exactly. And then you can have your vote, just like everybody else, but ultimately you connect with the people around you. Who are you taking care of? Are you loving on people? That's what really matters.
So around that time, and this seemed to happen every 4 years when there was an election, it was always pushed like, you're going to vote, you're going to vote, you're going to vote. And then these fucking people are like, did you vote? Did you vote? I'm like, do you know what you voted for at all? Have you even read anything? Now, granted, 8 years ago I didn't. And I felt guilted into voting for president, even though I have all these beliefs of like, don't vote for president. Mm-hmm. Now there were other bills on that ballot that I was like, I am absolutely going to vote for this. That was when I started going into prison, and I saw the prison thing on there, and I'm like, absolutely, I am going in, and I am saying yes to start getting some of these guys out, because these guys should not be stuck in there the way they are. Right.
Although I do want to talk to you about something else regarding that, but continue.
Okay. On this or off this?
No, on this.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And there were people that were like, did you vote? Did you vote? Did you vote? And I was like, did you vote for the other bills?
Right.
And they're like, no, I just voted for president. And I just went like, why?
Well,
no,
we kind of know why.
And we know why. And
because absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, and the problem,
nigga.
and my problem was that I was in that insecure thing. Yeah. I know what I believe.
Right.
The problem is that whenever I thought I knew something, it was inherently, I believed, wrong.
Yeah.
Which was a social thing between the where I was at in life.
Sure.
And I did something I didn't want to do. And in that I felt I felt like shit.
You kind of betrayed yourself a little bit.
I betrayed myself, and at the same time, I also started to really be a shithead and start really judging the hell out of other people, which is just a reaction to me going against and feeling like shit for myself. It's just a reaction to self-pity. Like, I'm going to look for a finger to point because I God forbid I got to point it at me because I can't change what I just did.
Right.
I don't like what I just did.
Right.
I don't want to admit what I just did.
Right.
Because no one's going to listen. My head.
Right.
No one's going to listen to me.
Right.
And so I did what I did, and you know, and then everything happened, and then everybody started talking, and oh my God, this is unbelievable, and then all this shit started to happen, and I started to look at it from an entirely different angle. I'm not a supporter of Trump. What is a supporter of Trump anyway? I mean, he hasn't done anything. He's talked about doing a shitload of stuff, and he hasn't done anything.
He's done some good things. But anyway, concern. Well, here's the thing. Why even label about it anyway?
No, exactly.
I'm allowed to think that some things he did are good and some things he did are fucking stupid. I'm allowed to do that.
I have to say that the one thing that he has done that everyone is going to have to follow up with from here on out, and it has changed the course of the government, which I love.
Sure.
Is that he has become so what's the word?
Provoking?
No.
Focused? Focal points?
He's become so open with everybody in the world that he has sort of become like personal to everybody. Right. Whereas a lot of the time, the president is just the president. You see him every once in a while come up, talk about some shit, and that's about it.
Right.
He's made a point to be like cool, and because he's not cool.
No.
And everybody from here on out is gonna have everybody from here on out is gonna have to be that transparent of how much of a douche they are, of how much what they believe. Whatever it is, they're going to have to start being much more open and starting to really worry about their past, which is going to drive this in hopefully a different direction where people start becoming candidates for presidency that normally would not because they have values. They have things. They didn't cheat to get through. Everybody cheated to get through politically at some point. I mean, That's just the nature of business, but they're going to have to start being more and more and more transparent. I mean, I've always loved the thing where everyone, the guys I listen to a lot of the time talk about The Rock becoming president. And I'm like, I'd probably vote for him.
It depends. Because let's be real, like his fucking movie choices. I'm sorry, but whatever. I'm sorry. Continue.
If people were throwing money,
I was a fan when he went during wrestling.
If people were throwing money at you to do all these movies and just walk around and lift weights and do movies and be the exact same character in every single movie, would you not do it?
No, probably not. Knowing me, I wouldn't. No.
And he's not a douche. Like,
yeah, no, you don't hear bad stories about him. No, you hear everybody has a good reaction with him,
and it's like, yeah, you know, you would love to hear the WWF fucking talk of just like when he gets on and is like just goes in debates and just be like, "Fuck you, jabroni!" Like it'd be hilarious.
Were you a fan of wrestling at that time? I was talking with Pollo Del Mar. I like the Undertaker. What's his John 316? What's his fucking name?
Austin 316. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're gonna get real embarrassing. I don't watch wrestling because I can't do it anymore. But there's a YouTube video, like a guy on YouTube that I just dive into, and I go back to. He reviews all the old pay-per-views and stuff, and I've gotten into. Nice. I literally when those documentaries came up about old wrestlers, I would watch them.
Yeah.
I was highly interested in these people that chose this as a career.
Right.
I have the sick thing where I like watching people. I work all day long, and then I come home and I like watching people work.
Who was your favorite? If you had to choose.
Who's my favorite?
If you had to choose. Give me three favorite wrestlers all time.
Oh, I mean, The Ultimate Warrior was just the shit when it was going on.
What time was that?
That was
90s?
That was the early 90s.
Okay.
And now watching stuff, it's just like, God, he sucks so bad.
Right, corny and
No, he's fucking awesome. Like, fuck off. Like, he's worse than Trump. I mean, he doesn't like gay people and like all this stuff came. He's a nut job.
Sure.
He's a nut job. But
Hulk?
I didn't like Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. Okay. Just because like I'm a small guy. I'm never going to beat him. I love Demolition because they wore masks and they wore makeup. They also, I don't know why. I don't think I like this or not, but they wore all the BDSM stuff.
Sure.
Because I had an older brother, so I grew up with like late 80s wrestling because he watched it, and that's how I got introduced to it.
Okay.
We always loved the Rockers. Like me and a buddy, we would when we would play wrestling, we'd be the Rockers. I don't know that I ever had like. It's like asking me what my favorite band is.
Did you ever have those? No idea. Did you ever have those little plush dolls?
No,
they were like maybe a foot.
I know what you're talking about.
A foot and a half high.
So
we had like one or two of those when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, I didn't get toys very often, and it wasn't, I grew up middle America. I am the most hated person in the world. I'm a white man who makes a living, that pays his bills, that all this stuff, I'm the most. I'm
upwardly mobile.
I'm racially stereotyped as being a white male that's mid 30s. When I grew up, my parents really put a really good ethic that stuff wasn't going to fill a void. Now, I tried to do that all the time. I still try and do that. I mean, just come to my house and look at my garage. There's a bunch of shit in there that I don't need. But I'll never forget, like, my most fond childhood memories were, like, Saturday morning, we would do whatever at around the house, and then my dad would take me down to Henry's, which was this, like, you could buy anything at Henry's, but you would go down in the basement, and in the basement they had all the toys, and it was like this, like, shitty... It was the basement of like an old building.
Okay.
And I'll never forget it. But like going around to the wall where all the G.I. Joe figures were, and I would get one G.I. Joe figure because they were like $10. Mm-hmm. We didn't have $10 to throw around for toys. Like I got my brother's toys. I destroyed his Star Wars toys, and I think he still isn't really fond of me for that.
Right.
Not that they're worth any money anymore, but like I would get like one G.I. Joe. And then if I got Legos, like I'd get like the cheap shit that was on sale, which worked fine.
You ever do Lincoln Logs?
Oh, I had Lincoln. My brother had Lincoln Logs, so I got handed the Lincoln Logs.
So boring.
They were boring until you put fireworks in them. Then
Jesus Christ.
Blew up. Yeah, the Midwest again. Like the things we did for fun was you got a hold of fireworks and you blew shit up.
I'm sure they were a lot more legal in California too.
No, they weren't.
Even back then. Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, I got fireworks at home right now, but like, we would build Lego houses and then just blow them up, and then, but Lincoln Logs would just blow. Jesus Christ, those things they would just blow apart. But as a kid, that's what I got. Like it wasn't. It was. I don't even know why we're talking. Oh, we're talking about wrestling, but I never got like the plush dolls and like. I mean, my best friend at the time. It was cool because he had. I'll never forget. He had a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis.
Nice.
And I think I might have. I had a Nintendo, but I had a Nintendo way after they were like the cool thing to have.
Sure. Yeah, my family was the same.
Yeah,
like we had the old stuff. We had I think, I'm sure there were. I feel like that would have been something that maybe I played with at someone else's house and either stole or. Like, because I'm a fucking grabby little motherfucker. Yeah, sure. Or I'm just remembering it because I don't remember a lot of shit from when I was a kid. I don't know. I'm blocking stuff.
I'm the same way, and I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me maybe I might have been molested once, but I don't think that's really true. I feel like I would have known by now.
Somebody asked me that. What is that? Why do we go right to molestation? What if it's like my childhood was fucking boring because I was a boring kid?
What a great... Yeah.
I don't remember it because I was.
What a great idea! That is a good idea.
I don't. Good point. I don't remember a lot of the stuff that I did at the first house I ever lived in, and I lived there till second grade.
Because I was boring,
and I was probably a boring ass kid. And the things I remember, there's a few things I clearly remember. One, I remember seeing Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time because my sister was watching it with her friend, and I snuck downstairs and I started peeking through.
Right.
Nightmares for fucking days.
Of course.
Because I couldn't watch all of it because I'd peek up and then I'd think they're going to see me and then I'd come down. And then I remember always trying to play army, and I would have like my little plastic army figures, and I had like a fake rifle. It was rad. Like when you could actually do shit like that. And I remember big wheel races.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember walking to the pool. And that's about it. Like I don't, and there's lots of little pieces in there that I remember from, and even talking about it, I start remembering more.
Right.
But I don't remember a lot. And what is it? Like second grade, you're what, like six years old?
Not. Yeah, maybe, I think it's like 7 or 8.
I think
I could be wrong.
No, wait, is it? I don't know. I teach kids, and I should really know this.
What do you teach kids?
I teach Jiu Jitsu to kids.
Aww.
I legally get to beat up kids that are annoying.
Awesome.
I love them. They're like 3 feet tall and they weigh like.
And they're about that size.
Oh, I do the little kids because they're just. I mean, a lot of them are whiners, but I got like 4. I've got like 3 little girls that I train with one of their dads, and like she just gets her ass whooped all the time, but she's like
right back in it.
Yeah, we do like wrestling stance. I'm like mean face, and she goes, man, and she's this little Asian girl that's like the nicest, and she's the cutest thing ever. But she'll and then she'll get mad at somebody and start trying to whip them around, and it's awesome. But I really think I was just a boring kid, and there's nothing to remember until I got later, and like we started to get fireworks, and then I started to drink, and even when I started, I don't even remember my first drink, probably because it was boring.
The other thing is too is that I'll bring it up, like my mind will bring it up when necessary, and a lot of that shit's just not fucking necessary. Like I did a lot of the processing through therapy and through spiritual practice and blah 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 blah. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't come up for me. Like
why do we go to the worst shit though?
Well, no, someone told me that I was probably molested. Because, I did some weird sex shit. You know what I mean? We all have done weird sex shit. But I got when I was, I think I've talked about this on the podcast. Maybe not. So I had gotten sober by getting sent
You're
to
being an asshole.
Well.
I shut mine off. Yours buzzed.
No. I'm very important. But so I got sober, got sent to this evil little boarding school for evil little children. Hold on,
let me stop you there. Would you have survived if you hadn't gone there?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm super grateful for that place. Absolutely.
But it was evil.
Oh, yeah.
God, those places are evil.
Yeah, I don't know if I went into detail, but like...
Oh, yeah. You've told me about that place, and it's...
no, I'm extremely grateful. I only know like one person... She and I, maybe 3 people now. Yeah, 3 of us who are still sober out of that place.
Honestly,
fuck it. It does what it is.
That's fucking great. I mean,
and anyway, so like 4 months into that place, I was, I had decided, oh yeah, drugs, and so I was supposed to be watching this other kid. Anyway, not to go into the big story, but maybe I'll extrapolate later. But I did, I went into the main house because I was in trouble, so I had to sleep in the main house, and then I accidentally was able to see into the girls' dorms. I found out, and so I started being a peeping Tom for a month.
No, you were a fucking kid.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not. All I'm saying is that's where that label came from. That's where that idea came from. Because I had through all the therapeutic stuff that I was going through around that. After that, some lady was like, "Well, maybe you did all this perverted shit because you were molested." Like, no, I don't think so these days. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, it probably would have come up.
I understand the situation where you were at and the idea of putting that question on there.
Right. Especially, I'm in a school with other kids. There's liabilities and there's, yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing I didn't get kicked out.
Well, they probably wish they could have, but your parents were like, you're keeping him.
I don't know, actually. I've never asked them about it. Anyway, continue.
I don't know where we were at. We were talking about wrestling, and then we got into childhood.
Well, no, that's where that idea of like that I might have been molested came from. But you said, well, I don't know why it has to be the bad stuff, and I think that's a good point. Maybe it's just I was boring, or I don't need to come up with the ideas. I don't need to think about Sega Genesis. My life is very full. Like we both. Yeah. You think about Sega Genesis more because you're into video games still.
It's bad. It's
but not just the how many arcade, like legit arcade games do you have in your garage?
I have 5.
5.
One of them I'm actually building for a friend of mine to get rid of. So the 5th one was really, I bought it because it was a really good deal and it was a nice cabinet. And I was like, I'm going to build this. I'm going to sell it.
What are the games?
I have an all original Ms. Pac-Man stand up that I've now completely redone. That has been the biggest learning experience of recent.
How do you redo that?
Well, I pulled out the old CRT monitor and I put an LCD. Now we're getting nerdy. Now I put an LCD screen in, and then I pulled out the board and I put a new power supply in because everything from the 80s was very like. One, it's fucking dangerous. Like a CRT.
Really?
A CRT monitor will fucking kill you.
Why?
Because it's the capacitors in there will store so much voltage. And just enough amperes that if you just touch it and that shit goes through your heart, you're done.
Oh, is that what that feeling is when you touch the screen as a kid?
No, that's static.
Okay, all right.
That's just static.
All right.
But I took out the monitor and I started redoing it, and I've always wanted one, and now it's finally done again. Okay. It'll probably break sometime soon because it's old. I mean,
does redoing it? So, like, did you put in like? In that same process, could you have put in Yoshi or something new?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I actually had, and then the board that I put in there, the Ms. Pac-Man didn't play the same way as the original board.
I see.
So I went back to I'm going to make this completely. I'm going to redo all the electrical because I like doing it, and I'm going to make it all new again.
Right.
And that's what I did, and it's finally like. I don't even remember what I have left to do on it. It's finally done to a point where it's like I can play it and it's good. And then I have a Neo Geo that is another one of those like it's those things from a childhood that I remember just so intently of like going to the arcade and like seeing like it's like wrestling. I watch the wrestling shit because it brings back my childhood a little. I miss the innocence and the imagination of being a kid because I lack it completely. Now I've got some of it back, but I lack it. I lacked it for so many years where I was just stuck in this mode of like work and like don't do anything fun. And I was afraid of taking vacations for a long time. But I bought a Neo Geo and I basically took it completely apart and rebuilt the whole thing and changed the monitor out and all that. And then I've got another one. I've got another one that's got like 900 fucking games in it. That's just like it's a crappy cabinet, but it's one that I completely took apart.
But it sounds like it was built recently. Like it wasn't like those, because Miss Pac-Man sounds like it was fucking from the 80s or 90s.
All of the machines that I have, I don't think anything's newer than 1990 something.
Oh,
nothing
badass.
is.
Even the Street Fighter? You have
the
Street
Fighter is
too, right?
Probably that was the second arcade machine I ever bought. And
I love that fucking
And
game.
I suck at Street Fighter. I'm awful at it. And I don't even like playing it. But I see it and go like, no one, this is how sick I am.
Well, it's a game. You can do it with multiple people. You can't play fucking.
I don't give two shits about that. What I really give a shit about, and this is sick, is there's a forum that shows how many people own that Street Fighter,
and you want to be one of those
that
people.
Cabinet.
What a douche!
I haven't put my name on the list, but it's like I have.
You haven't even put your name on the list.
No, I can't get into forums.
What a little queer! Why don't you fucking?
I don't like forums. I don't like doing it. I just, and it's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's just one more added thing that I'm going to go obsess about, and I really don't feel like it.
Right?
Because I understand that's going to happen. like this fucking podcast.
God damn it. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But yeah, I you know, when I moved into the house, I had a garage all of a sudden, and then I was like, okay, well let's start spending some money, and I started just picking up arcade machines, and then just found that like, wow, I get to learn how to do this again.
What's the fifth one?
The fifth one's the one that I'm building for a buddy of mine. It's an empty cabinet that's going to be like 1,300 games in it.
Jesus.
Everything's going to be redone, and I'll sell it to him. And
I'm just shaking my shake.
I know.
It's very fancy.
It's. You should do it into the microphone. That's just as bad as like eating.
Aruba. Sorry, continue.
Other podcasters would shame you for that.
No, I'm telling you, I am not. You know what I mean?
Other podcasters?
I like having. No, I'm certainly not. I like having it fucking, completely unprofessional.
But there's those things that I've got that are just treasures of the past. But then there's that other part of it that I'm just such a fucking douche about it, that it's like I know what everything is worth.
Right.
Would I ever sell it? No.
Right.
I've got a bike frame that I've wanted since I was...
Bike frame. A
BMX bike frame. I got into BMX bikes, too. I've got a BMX bike frame that
really are a kid. Really are a goddamn kid.
I am a child with a very, very, very grown-up job. That's the scary part.
Right. Like Donald Trump.
Like Donald Trump. I don't think Donald Trump is a child.
I think both of you are very similar.
Oh, fuck.
You have longer fingers, I guess.
I don't know how to use Twitter. I have no idea.
I think you would be great on Twitter. I would absolutely follow your stupid ass.
I have no idea how to use Twitter. I don't know how to use Instagram.
Anyway.
That was my insecure persona that came out all the time.
Oh my fucking God, it's so hard to... Like, what was I saying earlier? I was saying like, yeah, I'm pretty good at it. And even saying, I'm pretty good at it. Not just around you, but around anybody. It's difficult. It's gotten so much easier to do it. Because I do think I am at many things. But even saying the fucking words is difficult to me. I was talking to my friend. Have you ever met... well, anyway, I won't share her name. Anyway, I was talking to her, and I talked about this last week on the podcast, and I was, I was talking to her. I was like, okay, how do you not... She's over a long time. How do you not hate yourself? How do you not do it?
Though.
And because I've got the structure. I know the fucking structure, and obviously that changes and it moves, and it, just like any living, breathing organism, higher power, blah blah blah. But like, how the fuck do I not do that? Because I've been so used to I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit for so fucking long, and I had to just pull my head out of my ass and grow up. But like, it's been, I kind of floated in my own, like, finding my own footing, and everything's okay. But now it's time for me to actually address the real shit. Because otherwise, I'm going to keep going to what... Like, I have to... Like, that's why I'm drinking a fucking shake. Is because that's why I've lost all this weight. Because I've kept the weight on because I don't want to change. Leave me the fuck alone, God. Like, I already stopped smoking. I stopped... I'm being good. Monetarily, I'm better than ever. Just leave me the fuck... Let me have something, you cunt. Like, let me fucking... Like, And so it comes down to, okay, what are these vices serving, really? And really, it goes back to that love thing. I'm afraid I don't deserve love. I'm afraid that I'm unwantable, unwanted, that I'm stupid, that I'm too fat, too this, too whatever. But all of it, when you really boil it down to the root, it's that I'm afraid I can't have it and don't deserve it. And so, so the easy thing is to say, oh, I'm a piece of shit, or to pepper in every single time I have to, say something nice about myself. I have to pepper in that, oh, by the way, I know that I'm self-deprecating constantly. It's fucking tiring. And it doesn't serve me or anybody else. I don't think it serves the fucking God. It just this bullshit. It's masturbation.
No, and just saying, like, I'm a piece of shit. Everyone just sort of goes like, and I'm going to go over here.
Yeah, that too.
Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore because I don't want to get into your shit. It's funny that you it's like, how do I not hate myself?
A lot of people go through it.
I think I go through it. I mean, I have this constant thing now with the training that goes on where about every 2-3 weeks I just have 2 days where I just wake up and I'm like, fuck everything. and I laugh my ass off about it because I finally know what it is.
Yes.
That I ran myself totally ragged. I got bruised ribs. I got fucked up fingers. My neck hurts. And I'm still gonna go and train.
Right.
And I'm still gonna go balls to the wall training because that's who I am and that's what I do.
Right on.
But how do I? And I started laughing about it, and I started to sort of take a look at not the how do I not hate myself, but and not even like why I hate myself, but if I hate myself this bad, what am I not doing? And something I found recently in talking to somebody was a lot of the time when I go through it is I have these moments of super, super like high. And then life kind of just goes back to what life is. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to deal with that. I hate to say I don't know how to live with that. Sure. I don't know how to live with the monotony, I guess you could say, of life, even though life is not monotonous.
No.
But I don't know how to deal with that. And something I just thought of recently is that maybe, just maybe, I get to have these amazing adrenaline super high, everything's going fucking awesome. Right. God's grace allows me to have, and then we're going to get into the God stuff.
Sure.
God allows me to enjoy that for exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. Potentially so that the next day when I go back into the monotony. No, listen.
Go ahead.
Is that I can then start to look at the stuff that I've been putting off looking at.
Okay.
And it's fucking changed things greatly. Mm-hmm. Because I've started to then go, I felt really, really great yesterday and last night. Mm-hmm. What's the shit that I'm avoiding that I beat myself up about? Yeah. Whatever it is. And a lot of it's like I'm just lazy at work and like I need to learn more. But then I go
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you. What a fucking, I know we all see each other's shit, and it's like, I've seen, I had my friend Peter on last week, and he was like, yeah, I gained 30 pounds, and so I had to, I hit a bottom. And I'm just like, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you see someone else's stuff, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. So I'm not saying, that's, but like, I don't want to learn.
Let me tell you the truth.
I don't beat myself up for fucking, go ahead.
I beat myself up because I've got a terrible YouTube addiction.
Okay, all right.
That's and I know it's there.
Right. It could be worse.
It could be a lot worse.
I've looked at porn at work.
Who hasn't? If you say you're not looking at porn at work, then you're a fucking liar. Because everybody gets bored at work at some point, and you got to look at something. And sometimes that's just the thing to look at.
Right. You just hope you have to go to the bathroom. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Or sometimes you just
sometimes
you've got a job where you could just go to the bathroom anytime you want.
I was working at Saturn. I think 2006. I was a car salesman, and I was not a very good car salesman. And I was already a salesman and other stuff, but car salesman is a lot more.
And you're trying to sell a piece of shit car.
Oh my God. Yeah, Saturn's
dead
now.
Buy my dent-free car.
But I wasn't putting in a lot of effort, and I think.
You not putting in effort?
I was looking at. All right.
In 2006?
Calm the fuck down.
Come on. Any kid in
I just started a podcast, cocksucker.
Any kid in their 20s putting in effort?
Yeah.
Fuck
true.
no.
Yeah, I think it was 20. I think I was 20.
A 20-year-old putting in effort.
I think I had the job for like a couple of weeks, and then I realized, because that was 2006, maybe 2007, but like 2006. Yeah, no, it was 2006. And I realized that I could... I didn't have a fucking computer. I didn't have a smartphone. You know what I mean? And so there was a free usage of a computer at work. And so I started looking at porn at work, like at the desk of someone, like, and not just that, I started looking at rape porn.
And let's reference this. In 2006,
dude, that was hard.
Porn was not hard. As good and as accessible.
You had to remember.
As it is now.
There was no bookmarking, or maybe there was, but like not on a work computer too. But like I had to remember the names of the rape porn sites,
and they weren't as easy as like rapeporn.com.
No,
now they are. Now you can look up. I mean, you can type in anything.com, and it's probably going to be a porn
site. The worst
site.
thing about Russians. That's what I always say. Like this dumb little joke. The worst thing about Russians. They're the only ones willing to do like rape porn, but they're horrible actresses. Like it's always Niet.
I'm not one for rape porn, but
I love a good violent. Fucking violent. Ugh.
On that note, I gotta piss because of this Arizona.
Me too. You want to pause it?
Pause it.
All right. We're gonna go jerk off to some rape porn. Well,
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would you ever do that?
Well, the thing is, listen. Well, first things first, I have to say, they never outwardly, I don't think they caught me. They might have. But they let me go because I wasn't selling any goddamn Saturns.
That usually has a thing to do with keeping a sales job.
But they may have. And that's why I brought it up. Like, here's what's fun, though. I was thinking about this in the pisser.
The pisser?
I'll have, like, maybe one or two things that I'll keep, like, private. But, like, ultimately, if like you were saying, like, people have to be open. Like Jim Norton. You ever listen to any Jim Norton comedy?
I don't know why I can't stand him, but
that's fine. You don't have to. But one thing you got to say about Jim Norton is he can't be gotten. There's nobody who's going to, like, find something and, but you said, because he's open about some filthy-ass past and present. You know what I mean? And if people know, then I can't be caught because you can't hurt me. Like, I've already talked about it at length and made jokes. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I've said nigger, talked about rape porn. I'm putting it all goddamn out. Why are you spilling water all over yourself? Would you get it together? Jesus
This is
Christ.
Not my normal bottle of water.
Oh, you poor thing.
Wait, I got a good joke.
Go ahead.
Dropping N-bombs. There's still things I will not say. Like, guys at the gym try and have me say the N-bomb, like, in anything.
Are they black?
Like, no.
Oh, okay.
None of them are. But they're hood. Mike is hood. What do you call a black guy that flies?
What?
A fucking pilot, you racist.
I remember that. What was that? That was from...
It was on one of the Rogan podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, recently.
What's his name? Chuck Palahniuk, I think, talked about doing that joke. Anyway, that was a great fucking episode. Chuck Palahniuk, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so I'm an asshole. But I used to say that I didn't listen to the Joe Rogan podcast because all he would talk about was weed. And
sometimes when he has motherfuckers on, I'm
not
gonna
hold
listen.
On. I had never listened to a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And I made that assumption. There's some of them that when that comes on, I'm like,
look at that human nature. You see that? We're all fucking guilty of it. God damn it.
But now getting into it, I mean, some of the people that I've listened to, it's like, whoa. Yeah. And I found more and more, it's like, wow, I can actually go here for some actual truth. And I like this guy. I've heard things about him that he's like, it's like, but I understand it. Yeah. I understand it because of the environment I come from that he's sort of in with having a small group of people. I mean, I've been doing martial arts now. Well, I've been doing Jiu Jitsu for like almost 4 years now, and not that I know shit about anything, but it has highly shaped a lot of my understanding of life.
Of course, there's discipline, spirituality. I'm sure it's conflict, it's management, it's humility. Lots of things. Oh yeah, yeah.
Fuck, it's humility. And that was one of the first things I heard him talk about on there. Is it will make you fucking humble because you go in and you're with friends for the most part, and you want to kill each other and you want to break people's limbs, and that's the entire. And he wants to do it to you, and I want to do it to him, and that's what we're doing. And once you get done almost trying to kill me, we shake hands and we say good job, and we walk away.
Right.
It shaped a lifestyle that I'm only. We always joke because like when you're new and you're like you're and you're like, this is the most amazing thing in the world, and my coach would be like, you're a fucking dummy, like you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and he'll say it even now. Because I don't like
you also probably attract people like that, don't you?
What's that?
Who say that you're a dummy and you don't know what you're talking about?
Oh God, yeah. The group we have in the gym is so weird. It's made up of like you wouldn't understand the people that it's made up of, because we're all so different.
Here's a question: when you do that and you all come in camaraderie and then you try to beat each other up, do you need to mentally give yourself, like I said, go out to tacos afterwards? Do you sometimes or all the time have to give yourself some space to let that steam blow off before you can see them as a friend again, or before you can see them? You can go right away out to tacos?
Not me.
Okay.
Other people, yes. There's been times though where I got hurt by a guy a little bit. He fucked up my arm for a little bit, and it pissed me off for a long time.
Okay, because he did something he shouldn't have.
He held the submission a little too long, and I tapped, and it was and then he held it, and it went a little too far, and I've got fucked up elbows as it is. I've had them I have fucked up knees, I got fucked up elbows.
Sure.
And he did that, and I was just fucking livid. And I just stayed away from him. He wasn't part of our group. He sometimes is around. He comes at night. I go in the afternoon, and it's a whole nother crew. So he's not around very often. So I just would stay away from him. Because I knew, if I go with him, I'm probably going to get hurt in one way or the other. He's going to put his elbow in my rib, and it's going to bruise my rib even worse than it already is. Whatever it is. I'm gonna walk away from this not learning shit.
And do you feel like it was from an ignorant standpoint, or because he's just an aggressive asshole?
It wasn't even aggression. It was just that's who he is.
Okay.
He's got a
competition.
He's got a list of that happening with various people, and it's changed. It's changed right now because those are the things that they're pointed out right away. Dude, you got to fucking knock it off. It's pointed out right away, and a lot of people change right away. Because dude, fucking settle the fuck down. We're not. We're on the same side
this
here.
Isn't Cobra Kai versus
even in Cobra Kai, they were still friends with each other. But I held that shit for a long time. Did inventories on it.
Right.
And the thing with Jiu Jitsu is that I finally caught him, and I tapped him out.
Nice.
And he's a higher belt than me, and he's been training a lot longer. And it might have been one of those where he sort of let me get a little too far, and I know enough that if you let me get too far, it doesn't matter who you are, it's going to happen. But I left there, and all of a sudden it just went away. And I went, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be that way. Life should not be that way where it's I'm pissed off at you, but the only way I get relief from that is by getting revenge, basically. And it stopped me in my I went and sat in my truck for 5 minutes after that, just thinking about it, going that's fucked up.
But it is what it is. No, you can't stop yourself from being the human that you are.
It is what it is, but I can't. I also can't stop myself from questioning it. And why do I have that?
Sure.
And what is it? What did I not learn from that first experience that kept that thing going? And that's a part of my life that's really, really taken suit now. It's I always, and it's something that came from doing jiu-jitsu. It's what can I learn? Not what can I get out of it? Not what can I bring to the table? What can I learn every single time I do anything? What can I learn? And what questions do I need to ask? And then after the fact, what questions did I not ask? What questions were uncomfortable to ask? What was the shit that I don't want to talk to anybody about?
Right.
I'm bummed out because he fucking set me up. He set me up for failure, and I failed. And now I'm butthurt because of it. But at least he gave me a chance to learn. And that was the point.
Do you feel, so I was thinking about this in my, if I look at that, I don't know jiu-jitsu, but I know performing. And over the years, I've had many painful learning lessons doing that. But I'm getting closer and closer for a lot of factors, but I'm getting closer and closer to being the performer that I want to be. And that fantasy and the reality, the line between those is becoming smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? Where I am becoming who I want to be. Not now, but I feel oh fuck, I could do this. Is that kind of what, do you ever, when you started, did you have a fantasy about what kind of a fighter you would be or what kind of a competitive?
Well, first I want to say it's the exact same thing. In my perception right here, right now, it's the exact same thing.
Okay.
Because it is it is I'm going to use this term loosely. It's a hobby that is very much stress and very much encompassed in failure to learn. Mm-hmm. You don't learn by studying, you learn by doing. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way you're going to learn. Mm-hmm. You don't learn by sitting around, thumb up your butt going like, oh, watching YouTube videos of whatever. Like, you can't look up, how do I be the best performer I can be? I mean, you probably can. Everything's on Google, but it's not you. It's not personal. So those personal things that go with it. I mean, that's why I have the utmost respect for people like you, for people like other friends of ours that do comedy, because it is so hard not to quit.
Yeah.
Because failure blows.
Yeah.
And
especially publicly.
Yeah. But I started doing I started doing Jiu Jitsu. One, because it was just it just fit my schedule.
Right. And you wanted to find way, you couldn't keep buying more fucking, you were finding things to do with money. You're like, fuck, all right, I have, disposable income. I need to get rid of this.
The relationship I had fell apart, and much to a lot of lack of communication on my end, which I've gotten much better with in all aspects of my life. Yet I'm still sitting insecure.
Never cried at the office.
Yeah, now she's gonna hear that and be like, "You cried?" I'm like, "Oh, god damn it!"
I don't give a fuck.
I cried at so much shit. Oh, you put Monsters Inc. on, and I'm crying like that. And it's one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite movies.
Aww.
Yeah, I am a child. Minions and Monsters Inc. any day of the week.
Minions too. I've never seen. I thought. Yeah. Sorry.
So the relationship was falling apart, and this is what I perceive happened. I mentioned that I wanted to do one amateur MMA fight before I got too old.
Sure.
And she laughed. And I held that. Mm-hmm. So when it all came up, and I was in this state of like absolute just crazy depression. I mean, I was depressed for a long time.
Right. Over the dissolving of the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we lived together. It was like, you got to leave, and then it was a month of this like this just sort of battle going on, and I don't want to get into it too much, but I was so torn up, and I knew enough of myself that it was mostly me.
Right.
And so I reacted. And in the reaction, I started looking up gyms to go to, and I happened to find the gym that I'm at now, and I never started doing MMA because it wasn't in the schedule. I could go at lunchtime. I played basketball before that, and I would play at lunchtime, and I'd get to play for like an hour and a half at lunch. Hopefully, none of the big bosses are listening to this.
Yeah,
which they are. They got better shit to do. But I started going, and I started like 3 days a week and all that stuff. And I was the outcast because I was like the goofy white kid that's like, who the fuck are you? And that's how you are treated. You're like, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing here?
Which is valid. It sucks, but that's valid.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
You can't let anybody directly into the group because that's just not how things work.
And also it shows value.
Yeah.
That's why I think the whole bullying thing, it's not, I don't think everyone needs to be welcomed with open arms. Like, give me a little, like, I think for human growth we need...
Let me try a little bit.
Agitation. We need struggle. We need people to reject us. We need failure.
If there's no pushback on what you're doing, then there's no reason to try harder.
Right. Get better.
So I started going and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I got then the day happened. And so I'm still running off resentment and depression, basically.
Fuck this bitch. I'm going to go and do some, I'm going to go roll around with dudes.
I'm going to go put a bathrobe on and go roll around with a bunch of guys and get all sweaty for an hour. By the way, super uncomfortable right in the beginning. It's like, we're doing what? Like,
right. I have to grab you where? This is weird.
Yeah, well, the first time you grab somebody's ass and you're like, and then it's like, and then all of a sudden you just don't care anymore.
Right.
But I started to, it started to shift, and I started to find that outlet that I needed, because the other stuff we do, like, it was filling a void that needed to be filled, but there was something more to life than just that. Which is my big view on that whole side of thing. It's just that gives me the opportunity to go do this, 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 and this, and I need to do those things, or else I'm not fulfilling what they taught me.
Right, but not every void is a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like that void also teaches discipline and humility and all that stuff.
So I'll never forget the day that I sort of got, and this is their actual words. Who the fuck is the white boy over there? Mm-hmm. And they're like, fuck, it's fucking Alex. I don't know. He's fucking like, he's just an idiot. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He'll roll for a half an hour afterwards with anybody, and he'll just get the shit kicked out of him. And he smiles the whole fucking time. I am a serious masochist, I think.
Really?
Oh God, I don't care. Like, beat the fuck out. It's funny. You pinch me and I'm like, ow. You fucking hit me in the face. I'm like, you got to hit me harder than that to like actually do something.
Right.
And that happened, and then I started hanging out with the crew that I hang around with, and I'll never forget the day when it was like it all sort of came together. And I'm rolling with somebody, and this guy goes, "Who the fuck is that white kid over there?" I go, "What the fuck are you talking about me for?" And he goes, "That's why we keep him around, because I'm the token white guy."
Right.
There's no other now that we got a couple white dudes that have come in, which is
so.
Cool.
What's the most of the mix?
Filipino. I don't even know what anybody is. I have no idea what race just people are, but it's
ambiguously Asian.
Yeah, ambiguously Asian, Indian. But the people I've met, is that racist?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just need to ask you this, and you can feel free to not answer.
Do they smell?
Yes.
Sometimes.
I grew up with Indian people. I love you to death. There's one guy in particular who said he really loves the podcast. I apologize, man, but
here's the thing. I'm not going to apologize. Like, no.
Like recently, shower. You know what I mean? Just deodorant. I don't give a fuck. But just
fuck
Jesus
no, they don't
Christ.
Smell like that. No, fuck no, they don't smell like that. They smell like whatever they ate the night before.
Oh, really? Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. No, I do. I
don't know.
When
why,
I was an Uber
I don't know
driver,
why they smelled.
Okay, well, when I was an Uber driver, if a Russian got in my car or a Eastern European looking person, fucking get the fuck, just smelled up the whole goddamn car like Axe or whatever the fuck.
For 2 days.
For 2 days. And if an Indian guy, I'm sorry, it was body odor. It was fucking body odor.
No, if you come in and you stink, you're like, people just are like, leave.
They don't want to roll with you. Yeah.
Get the fuck out. No, you're not allowed on the mat because one, that brings it brings ringworm and shit. Like, you don't want to get sick.
Ringworm.
Oh yeah.
That's so weird.
No, you can't
That's
be.
awesome.
You can't be fucking dirty. No, one guy like recently, we're rolling and he must have had like good curry the night before, and like we're rolling, and I was like, fuck, man, I want to go to that Indian place. Mm-hmm. Like, I started to get hungry because it smelled good.
So you're in a bath mat rolling with a dude, and you got hungry.
Yeah, and I got hungry because he was sweating out the curry from last night. I have better things to think about at that very moment. Like, this guy wants to kill me.
Right.
Because I'm a cocky ass.
Why do you... Here's a question. Because I've thought about, like, now that because I'm on the particular plan that I'm on. I have to...
I heard boxing on the Jake one.
I want to box. I don't want to... Like, I understand that there's a lot of useful material in jiu-jitsu, and I'm sure I could take it, and probably if I get addicted to but like I want to have a useful tool that I can knock a motherfucker out. Like, I just, you know what I mean?
I can knock a motherfucker out. It's just
sure.
The problem is, it's like I don't want to.
Okay.
Because I know.
But you can't. Okay.
Because I know how to diffuse the situation that much quicker. Because I don't like fighting. I hate it. I don't like violence.
So if someone, as an example, say someone comes up to you at a bar and you blah 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 blah, and they take a swing, how do you use jiu-jitsu to take them down? I mean, what's an example, I'm sorry, of a way you could take them down? Obviously, duck the punch. And then
or get hit and just fucking get up and just laugh at him and be like, you're a fucking moron because you're drunk and you don't even know how to throw a punch.
Sure.
I mean, you just move closer to him and then the punch doesn't even hit you, and then you just walk away and be like, you're drunk, you're stupid.
Right.
And this is not what you want to do.
But you know what I'm saying.
I just grab their arm and then just sort of just pull them down. I mean, it's mostly like, how quickly can I get you on the ground and just hold you down, and then just go, look, I don't want to fuck with you. You're drunk. Mm-hmm. You're probably gonna hurt me because you're drunk and you can't feel shit. But I'm gonna leave you here because I don't want to deal with you.
Right.
I recently at a concert. What concert was I at? That shit happened where two girls got in a fucking fight. Oh, it pissed me off.
Did you get to see a titty?
No. One girl's swinging, the other girl's swinging, and I just was like, this is gonna stop because I'm one of the guys that I'm in the pit, and like in the pit, you do not fucking fight.
It was in the pit.
Yeah,
you don't fight in the pit.
No. Well,
I think Jake and I talked about this. Anyway,
they were the ones that, and we could get into a whole entire pit discussion because
Let's jump in. I don't give a fuck.
I've been in them since I was fucking 12 years old.
Was there a pit at the Pearl Jam concert?
That was the first pit I ever got in.
At a fucking Pearl Jam concert.
Spin the black circle in the pit. Fucking tiny. We'll get back to that. So these two girls start fucking throwing whatever. And they were these ones that they walked over. There was the big fucking, I'm going to say, there's a big fucking redneck dude that had his little fat, stupid girlfriend wearing too tight of clothes. Now I'm being, whatever, sexist against fat white chicks. I don't even know if she was white. And they bumped into each other a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like, shit went haywire. Right. And I literally, like, just was like instinctually just like grabbed this girl, and feeling bad because I'm like under one arm, I'm under the other arm, I'm shoving her head down as hard as I possibly can, and I'm like, let her the fuck go. And then I just take her and just throw her in the back, and then they disperse, and it's all over with.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it actually works.
There you go.
Like, I was like, cool, I can just stop you. Like, I don't want people to fight. I just want to stop fighting, please.
Yeah. I mean, I could see, I mean, that's the thing I was talking about, is that's part of what I love about, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't mirror Jiu Jitsu very much at all, but in that way of like, all right, I'm going to throw my entire body weight to knock this motherfucker down, and then I knock them down, and I pick them up, and we keep going, and dust each other off, and woohoo! You know what I mean? Like the physicality and the camaraderie and the, you know.
I don't know anything about, I mean, I could tell you may want to even look into Muay Thai.
Was that Thai boxing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They use elbows.
And feet more.
But it's one of the guys that came into the gym that owns one of the other branches of our gym. He became a buddy, and he's like a world Muay Thai champion from like the early 90s. I think it was the early 90s. And I mean, he's destroyed now. Like, he's fucking hips and knees and everything are just destroyed. But the guys that do that, that's more. Boxing holds that weird. And I don't know how boxing gyms are, but there's a weird ego to it.
Yeah.
And it's not a martial art. Muay Thai being a martial art, there's not that ego goes away. You walk into wherever you're walking into, it's gone. It's
more about discipline.
If it's about ego, you're gonna get knocked the fuck out because you're gonna come in there going like, I'm hot shit, check me out, and they're gonna go like, well, here's our best fighter.
Right.
Like, fuck you.
And they don't want any.
Lesson.
They don't. And when you've got a camaraderie thing going, you don't want, when you smell a poisonous energy, you want to get rid of the poisonous energy, or hold a mirror up to the poisonous energy and see how I knocked you the fuck out. Now you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, boxing's scary just because of the fuck, man. You just get hit in the head
brain
so
stuff. Yeah,
much,
the brain stuff.
and it's just It's scary to just. I mean, I got head shit that's just like, I can't go on roller coasters without taking 4 ibuprofen before I go because of like concussions I've had probably. But that shit's just scary. Well, you'll get knocked out, and then they'll pull you up, and then you get knocked out again, and then you get knocked out again. It's like, Jesus Christ, like this guy. And then how many boxers die every few years? There's always one that dies every few years.
And that CTE shit, that doesn't sound good. That does
scary,
not
man.
Good. I'm already homicidal enough. I don't need help.
I remember when Dave Mirra, when the story of Dave Mirra came out, and I actually got to meet him and hang out with him at my old job.
The BMX biker?
The BMX biker. He was the coolest and nicest and most down-to-earth kind of guy you could. He just came and hung out. I mean, I was working as a carny at a go-kart track, and him and the team came in because, like, I don't know what was in town, the X Games or something like that. And he just came and hung out. And he was there a few times. Or he was in Monterey doing a mountain bike race. And he just came down. And he would come down every time he was in town. And he was like the nicest, like, normal dude you'd ever see. And then it's like, fuck, man. Like,
what happened?
He shot himself.
Jesus. Dave Mirra shot himself?
He drove his truck. Like, into a random area and fucking shot himself in the head, I think. Wife, kids, everyone was like, he was totally fucking normal the day before.
I was thinking about that like when I stopped watching wrestling. It was around about the Chris Benoit thing happened where he killed his whole family.
You got way deep into it.
I think I did. Wait, what year was that?
I don't remember.
Wasn't that late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, and I've dove deep hard into the into all the stories.
Oh, there's a controversy thing?
Oh God, yeah. There's he got murdered by the Canadian mob and
Christ.
And I mean, it's just, but that's really the scary thing about boxing, and also finding a good gym is probably one of the hardest things to do. Right. I got lucky that I got sort of handed something that was like, this place is the most family friendly place you can go. Other gyms you go, you're going to go in there. If a big MMA fighter shows up, everyone's going to go as hard as they possibly can, and you're going to walk out of there with a broken arm.
Right.
And it's like, and that's not a story. That's the reality. Like everyone's going to think they're hot shit, and it's not good. And their classes are huge. And that's what's happened is I found sort of a new family to go hang out with, and we're all really, really close, and we all know each other's shit. I mean, when you come in there and you're bummed out, people are like, "What's going on?" And you can talk about it, and like, let's fucking roll, and then we'll talk about it too. And then you're like, "Yeah, I went away." Like it's not, shit just doesn't bug me anymore.
There's a physical element. I think it goes back to what you were talking about earlier. Like it doesn't make sense that getting the revenge would help, but like. I always thought for so long that the marching song or this whatever the spiritual structure marching song was that I'm a piece of shit. I got to look at myself. I got to look at myself. I got to look at myself. And sometimes, our mutual friend kind of helped me out with that and said like, well, something's got to change. You know what I mean? Like just take yourself out of it.
Try anything.
Yeah. And so at a certain point, like I can't keep. I'm never be, as long as I continue to, do what I'm doing and have the life that I have, like, I won't be one of those people who's just like, everything I do is great and nothing I do is shitty and you're a hater. Like, it's not like that. But at a certain point, I had to be like, okay, maybe I'm not so much of a, you know what I mean? Like, I had to kind of look at it from, okay, let's look at it from a tactile stance. Something needs to change. Or maybe I take myself out of the equation, or I change up this, or I change up that. Even though I kept thinking, if I just become more spiritual, if I just fix my brain, I can figure it out. I can wrestle this, and it's just something had to give, and it was me, Anyway.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the other big part of that with me is that it's like, oh, you're such a piece. I don't think I ever had that "you're such a piece of shit" thing. I never like bought into that narrative of my life. I never did. I was like, I'm not a piece of shit. I know I'm not a piece of shit.
I did, and I found people who would bolster that. And that's it. It's not these other people who were the problem. I was the problem, and I found people who would confirm that.
Yeah. But in those moments where I'm like, man, like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And then it's like, and then I step back and go like, you didn't even try. No wonder why you feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, full well that you were scared of what was going on and you didn't even give it an honest shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now what? What are you going to do with it? Well, I can sit here and be like, man, I should have given it an honest shot. And live in that, like, what if I would have done it different lifestyle? Or go, all right, fuck it, let's do it again. Mm-hmm. And let's do it a little bit different. And let's see what happens. If it fucks up again, it fucks up again. But at least I can continue going back.
Right.
And continue looking at the things that scare me. And go and wonder, like, and just see that, like, these things aren't scary.
Right.
They're just not. They're the insecurity and the self-pity that is very much, amplified by what we see all over media and all that. Like we just have to beat ourselves up because look at all these people. They're so amazing. It's like, no, you don't know the fucking real story.
Right.
It's how do I stay in that fear and go through it and learn at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the hardest thing to fucking do. Because it's that, I was talking to somebody about, like, in Jiu Jitsu, it's you get fucked up when you get scared and you tense up.
Okay.
If you get scared and you just relax and you just sort of like start taking deep breaths and stop thinking about like what's going on, and you just start looking for little ways out of whatever situation you're in, you get out. Or sometimes you get fucked up, but
sure.
The whole point of what we do is you want to stress somebody to the point where they make that mistake and they go and they tense up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what this stuff has taught me is like in those moments where you tense up, the thing you just got to do is go and just relax.
Joe Rogan was talking about that regarding MMA and how a lot of the best. Like, sometimes two men will go into a fight, or two women will go into a fight, and whoever is the better shit talker has been working on this motherfucker for months, for weeks, and will get under their skin. And even if the better shit talker is not as good a fighter, technically, as the other person, they'll fuck them up mentally, so that even though the better fighter gets in and just wants to fucking, and they make a mistake, and they slip up, and they get caught, you know?
You bring an ego into anything like that. If you bring your ego into any stressful situation, you're fucked.
Right.
You're bound to make a terrible mistake that you can't get back from.
Right.
Because you just don't see a way back. You're so far gone that you don't see a way back.
Right.
And the game plan is completely out the window because now you're like, I don't know what's. I mean, but the other thing too is like they've always said about fighting is once you get hit in the face the first time, like the game plan goes out the window.
Right.
You completely forget about what the game plan was because you just got punched in the face.
Right. I want to be able to get punched in the face enough times. Which is a funny sentence. I want to be able to get punched in the face so that it becomes not as much a big deal. Like, I want to be able to... Because part of it is, I want to be able to defend a family, you know, and myself. I also really could use... Like, I love the physical... Like, I do like going to the gym, and, you know, my body didn't necessarily reflect that because my spiritual condition was shit for a long, long time regarding it. But, you know, I want the physical discipline of it, and I want to grow that way. And, you know, and I want to learn failure in a new aspect of life. You know what I mean? Like, I want to learn, I want to grow that way so that I'm less afraid in that aspect. You know what I mean? I'm pretty confident in some things, but like, I like how I started the sentence, I'm pretty confident in a lot of things, and then I had to halfway say, in some things. Oh, well, that's funny.
And I could name those some things.
Maybe I'm not confident. I don't know. But you know, but I want to get more. And I want it to be,
I say fucking try physical. Everything.
Right.
Go try Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, maybe.
Go try boxing. Go try Muay Thai. Go try kickboxing. Try all those things because I don't know what it is. Like I wish I could do MMA. I can't kick for shit. And when I do kick, I fuck up my knee.
Right.
My knee has collapsed out from underneath me and it's a running joke.
Fuck.
Oh, my knees are fucked.
Fuck that.
My knee collapsed. Literally, I kicked the bag and my knee just collapsed out from underneath me because my stance was shit. And I was like, I'm not kickboxing anymore. Yeah. Like I really tried. I really wanted to. And my coach was like, dude, you come on, just come over and just try it.
Right.
And then I was like, no. And I don't like getting hit in the face, and I don't have that thing to hit people in the face. I don't have that switch in me to kill people. Yeah. That a lot of other people that I know have, they can switch it off.
I can't switch it off necessarily. I have to do inventory. But like
But where does that? But I guess my question is where yours, because I've seen it. Yours looks different than what I have experienced. So the first time I competed, sure. I got just destroyed the first time because I was like first match I had no idea what I was doing and this guy just like outscored me. The second match I went into it going like I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, and that's all I said in my head, and I think I had that eye at him, sure. Like I was staring at him like I'm gonna fucking kill you, and I got done and I beat him. And I wasn't satisfied with it. But it was a different it was a different I'm going to kill you than what I've seen from like what I saw in you. And that's why I ask, like,
but me in 2012, you know what I mean? Or me, you know, fat, insecure me from 3-4 years ago. Like, I'm sorry, it's not the same thing. But I do get in my belly.
That's good.
Right. But I do get in my belly this idea of, all right, watch this. And I love that, you know, like, okay, you know, all right, this is going to happen now. And I can, even though I don't necessarily, I don't know that in practice of fight or competition physically, I'm a big enough boy and I have enough of a mouth and a good enough read of people that I can stop, like when a physical, you know, stop situations like you did with the two, you know, girls at the pit or whatever. But like, I can do that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And why was I saying?
You're gonna get your ass kicked a lot.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And what's gonna happen from that? Well, I'm either gonna get butt hurt and leave, or I'm gonna grow, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward. That's what I'm saying. I want to get punched in the fucking. You know what I mean? Let's do that. You know.
I don't think you're gonna get punched in the face very much anymore. Not in practice stuff.
Really?
No, everybody pulls punches. So you're not going to get like hit in the face. Fuck no. Mm-hmm. That's just stupid. Like we're not going to all walk around with broken noses all the time.
No.
No, I challenge you to just try everything. Okay. I think you may find a more of a love of this like jiu-jitsu and the stuff that I do and the physicality of it and everything, because you really do. I mean, when you get choked, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's just as bad as getting hit in the face.
Right.
And God, I mean, there's been countless times where I've just been like, fuck this. Like, why do I do this?
Right.
And wanted to quit and then go, I'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
And show up the next day and like, and even talk about it. Be like, fuck, I wanted to quit yesterday. Like, that was just fucking nonsense. And like, yeah, we have those. It's like, what do you mean we have those? Like, yeah, we have valleys and we have plateaus, we have valleys,
and over and over. That seems to turn the trick. Is just saying it. You know, it's just saying I wanted to quit. That takes the pressure out of wanting to quit.
And then having somebody go, yeah, that happens.
Right.
And you're like, wait, what? Like, I didn't understand it was a year and a half in that I didn't understand why every few weeks, like, I would just wake up and I'd be severely like, for those people who are actually depressed people and like have the mental whatever, like, I don't know if I have it, but I would wake up and I would just feel like shit. Mm-hmm. And it would be 3 days where I'm just like mentally just like, no, don't want to do it.
Right. Do anything or you mean
anything? Okay. Nothing. I wanted nothing to do with anything. I just had a spell of 2 weeks where I was all fucked up. Like, I was just like, fuck everything. Like, this just sucks. Like, life is stupid. Like, this is just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. And like, I'm just let me fucking sit around and do nothing. Let me go do what I want to go do.
Yeah.
And leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
And it was a year and a half, and I pulled my coach aside. And I said, dude, this is what's been going on. And it's weird. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, that happens. He's like, you beat yourself up to the point where like your body is so destroyed that it can't do anything but try and heal everything else that's going on. And your mind suffers. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, okay. And it made me feel like 100 times better. So when it happens, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I mean,
that's what this is.
A week ago, the 2 weeks was just something different. I don't know what was going on. I haven't even looked at it. I was just like 2 weeks. I was just like, fuck everything.
Right.
Like things are changing so quickly and drastically. And I'm like, I don't want to, no, just let me settle for a second.
Right.
No, go do anything. Mm-hmm. And all I want to talk about is the first pit. Or that Pearl Jam ticket.
The ticket.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. That's how we started the podcast.
I know. We started. I have no.
Well, okay. So you've been going to pits for a long time.
Let's start this off. So a lot of the people you've had, I understand, are musicians.
No, wait.
Some of them were musicians.
One of them Only one of them is musician so far.
Well, Jake was. Well, I don't know if you'd call Jake a musician. Jake
Dude, he's gonna have to come back on here, and we should have both of you cocksuckers.
Oh, fuck. No one.
We're gonna talk about aliens real quick.
Oh, fuck. I will get up and just leave. I'm gonna go in the bathroom and jack off. Like,
right. I'm gonna look at some rape porn.
Yeah. Just let Jake just go.
I can wrangle him. I'm pretty good at wrangling him.
I don't play any instruments.
No, you used to DJ.
Okay, so I side note, I thought of a catchy thing to say about the whole DJing thing.
Oh.
I was a shitty DJ because I didn't give a fuck what you wanted to hear.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
And I still love the whole art of it, and I love vinyl, and I do love everything, and I love how that all started. And it really was just a really shitty time in my life, and I was never really that good at it, but I could do it. And then I started getting into scratching, and then I started buying all the stuff, and I got good at it.
What year was that you started?
Oh, the first time I learned how to match beats was probably in 2000. And then I didn't really start sort of DJing really until I got sober. It was probably about 2007. I think I finally bought another set of turntables, and then I got into it, and I recorded some stuff. It wasn't very good, but and I don't think I was very good, but I also had this ego that was like, I'm not going to go to YouTube and like learn it on YouTube. I'm going to learn it on my own, because I didn't learn on YouTube, and I didn't want to, and I wanted to just have it to fuck around with. And when we had the one show where we made some money, it was the worst fucking show I've ever had. And I realized,
the milk bar, right?
Oh God, I hate it. I just remember being outside at 1:30 in the morning with all the equipment out, talking to the girl who was the singer of another group, and going like, fuck, I'm so glad I'm not one of them anymore. And it was two guys in the middle of the fucking street having a fist fight.
Right. Now
knowing a little bit about fighting, God, it was the worst fucking fist fight I've ever seen. I mean, nobody hit each other fucking well.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is, I don't ever want to get paid for this. I can't do it. I don't want to get paid. There's things that I have in my life that if I started getting paid for it, it would ruin it.
Okay.
But going back, like that Pearl Jam show, the whole thing was like the coolest experience of my. So prior to that, I had gone to my first concert, which was Fish. My brother took me.
Oh no!
I didn't know
that was your first concert.
I didn't know it. I was 12 years old.
All right, yeah, you didn't know it.
I didn't know.
Fuck you, hippies.
I gotta tell you, if there was a show to see at that time, though, that was like one of the like biggest shows. It was that show. I mean, that was when they were huge.
Oh, okay.
It was like 1993. They were like huge, and my brother took me and I was just blown away because it's the first concert I've ever been to, and they threw like glow sticks off the raft, like off the top balcony, and then they all went everywhere, and it was like holy fuck. And I don't like their music, but fuck, they can play. Yeah, like it was a 2.5 to 3 hour show, and I used to have the tape of it. I used to have the bootleg tape, and I probably have it somewhere, and I don't, and I just lost, and it's buried and shit. But I could still pick it up and listen to it and go like, fuck, that was really fucking cool.
Sure.
So then I found out about Pearl Jam being at Soldier Field, and there were 4 of us. And again, this is before the internet.
How's your parking, by the way?
I got it till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
I parked on whatever 5th was. There was like no parking over there, but everything was packed.
Right.
We didn't know the story of the concert, and the whole thing of, at that time, Pearl Jam was boycotting Ticketmaster and selling tickets on their own because fuck Ticketmaster and fuck them making money and all that stuff.
You said in
94.
Wow.
And so we got up really early. I had this fucking gigantic boombox, and we went out to the mall, and we sat outside the mall, and I'll never remember the store's name, but they had a Ticketmaster inside. The mall opens, and we go in, and we get to and there's nobody out there, so we're like, fuck yeah, we're gonna get tickets. Didn't know Pearl Jam boycotted Ticketmaster. We get up to the Ticketmaster booth, and they're like, no, we don't have Pearl Jam tickets. Like, we don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Wow.
Run home, because it's like fuck, I need these tickets. I don't know why I need these tickets.
You can't Google it right there.
But I need these.
And then Uber over to the new.
There's no cell phones.
Right.
I was on a home phone sitting there dialing an 800 number over and over and over to get tickets.
Wow.
Finally got through. I was the only one of the 4 that got through. And you could only get 2 tickets.
Wow.
And so I got the tickets, and I'm still pissed that I lost.
How did you pay for it?
A credit card.
Okay. Mom's credit card, dad's credit card, or something.
Who knows? I don't fucking remember. I'm still pissed that I lost the ticket stub because it was actually a really cool ticket stub. I have a lot of my ticket stubs, and like there's the first like 15 of them that just disappeared. I don't know where they went. But I got the tickets, and I met up with my brother who was living in downtown Chicago, and he had the night before gone to see the Grateful Dead at Soldier Field. Mm-hmm. He's fucking been up all night probably. Mm-hmm. And so we get in, and it starts. This is the second concert I've ever been to, and I'm on the floor. I've never been to Soldier Field before. And I'm seeing one of the biggest bands at that very time. I mean, Pearl Jam was fucking huge.
I bet.
And that was when I was like, I'm going to go up front. No idea why. I'm just going to go wander. And I'm the tiniest, like, little kid.
Right.
And it was, I recently, it was years ago now, but I got the CDs of the actual show. And it's really cool to, like, go back and remember. Because there's more to the story of, like, I lost my brother at the end, and I didn't know where he was at. And I started freaking out. I'm a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I've lost my brother in a sea of 60,000 people.
Jesus.
But I get up, and they start playing Spin the Black Circle, and this thing happens where everyone sort of opens up. And this pit started. And the thing that I loved about the 90s pits were they were those pits like we had at Primus at the Catalyst, which I was pissed you said Primus at the Greek, because the pit at the Primus at the Catalyst was so much better because you lost your glasses and found your glasses.
And they weren't broken.
Weren't broken. Craziest fucking story ever.
But I didn't have anything to compare it to. Primus at the Greek is what I was like, holy shit. These motherfuckers are not fucking around.
I know, that show I didn't go to.
Fun.
But this thing
Mastodon was meh.
They suck. They suck live.
I'm sorry.
They've always sucked live.
It's weird.
The pit happened, and I jumped in, and I don't remember much from it, but I remember like running around and then just like being so close to the stage. And I don't know. I probably was still like 50 people back.
Right.
But I was like, holy fuck! And then like the bass player threw the bass out at the end of the show, and I was like, I was fucking right there. Oh yeah, guitars flew out.
Fuck.
Bass flew out. I mean, drumsticks now are like fucking whatever. Like they used to throw the whole fucking bass guitar out and give it to somebody in the crowd.
Jesus.
And like I lost my brother, and then we finally leave, and I go home, and I was like, I got to do that again. And the next show I went to was it was either 9 Inch Nails with David Bowie.
You fucking cunt.
No.
You fucking cunt.
No, you're gonna.
I know you fucking told me this story, you fucking cocksucker, and I forgot it until just now. I fucking hate you.
We didn't know. My sister took us.
God.
And we were a bunch of stupid 15-year-old kids. And we didn't know who David Bowie was. And when 9 Inch Nails ended, we did what everyone else in the crowd, or what half the crowd did. And we left.
9 Inch Nails was opening for Bowie.
Oh, yeah. 9 Inch Nails opened for Bowie.
And you left? I didn't know that part.
Oh, yeah. I did not see David Bowie.
You're the devil.
Yeah.
You're the fucking...
Yeah.
But you did see Hurt.
Oh, he played Hurt and Reptile together. And again, that was those years. That was the year where they played... what was it he was playing? I think it was Burn. He was playing Burn.
Oh, yeah.
The whole fucking stage is all smoke.
Right.
And all you saw was a rack of guitars get wheeled to the side of the stage and him just go one by one, boom, broken, boom, broken, boom, broken. Like probably 5 or 6 guitars. He just broke over the edge of the stage. I was like, Christ, man, I miss those days. But it was an outdoor arena, and it was like the weird like seats in the front and grass in the back. Like, God,
God damn it.
Having the CDs of another CD was or from another show is pretty fucking cool to have, though. And I actually have the recording of it. I'm a nerd and got like every single Nine Inch Nails live bootleg from the start.
Right.
But it just started this like I've got to go to shows and go into more and more and more shows, and now it's like I just don't like shows anymore.
Yeah. So you don't even remember who you were at the other day?
I went to a show the other day
with the girls in the pit.
Or
was that like months ago?
Fuck, who was? I want to say it was Lamb of God, but I don't think it was.
You can't tell me that was a bad one.
Oh, Lamb of God? Yeah. I will not miss a Lamb of God show.
Okay.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
They are. Oh, I know what it was. It was Machine Head, and it was the evening. It was the evening with Machine Head at the Fox Theater. And it was the third time I'd seen that show, and again, it was fucking amazing. It's 3 hours of one band, no opening band. They just go.
That's awesome.
And it was.
I don't think I've ever heard any Machine Head.
I had not ever heard them. So I was very, and I think I've been very. Simple-minded when it came to music. In the early 90s, I sort of like once Pearl Jam sort of went away and they got way too popular, I stopped listening to them, and then I got into I've always had Nine Inch Nails, always.
Right.
There's two groups that have been through my life and music is a huge part of my life.
Put the mic towards your face.
There's two I guess groups that always have stuck with me, and that's Nine Inch Nails and that's Atmosphere.
Okay.
Those have just they hold a dear part of my past in them, and have been the things I've listened to when times were like the absolute just shits.
And I don't know about Atmosphere at all, but Trent still gives a fuck, and you can taste it. Like it's not just the stuff back in the day. Like the stuff he makes these days is like, fuck, okay, it's different, but like there's still give a fuck in it. There's still like, oh, he cares and he's trying to do new shit, and he's stretching mentally and musically and business wise and promotionally, and he's just doing different shit. He's true to his balls. You know what I mean? Like,
I love everything he's doing, and the reason I have sort of bought all the vinyls of them, or almost. I mean, I'm starting to sort of pick at them. They're fucking expensive. Mm-hmm. Is he wrote the article in there about buying vinyl, and the idea of you're going to put this record on, you're going to put on a good set of headphones, you're going to shut your cell phone off, and you're going to pull out the liner. And you're gonna listen to the whole thing, and you're gonna enjoy it for what it is.
You dumb motherfucker.
And Allie bought me the Broken vinyl, and Broken was the first Nine Inch Nails album I ever bought. I still have my original CD, which barely fucking plays.
I don't remember a lot of Broken. I know that's the one that has Give Up on it, right?
It has Gave Up. It has Wish. It has Last on it. It has Physical. It has Suck on it, but. That vinyl, it folds out and it's got like the whole story of that album and and like pictures from back then of like Manson being there for songs and the lead singer of Filter being in the band because he was and there's just something about it that. Every time that's just the album that I would always go to. I mean, I was watching one of the new live videos of one of their shows like today because I was like, I gotta see it. I can't not see it right now. I know I'm gonna see it in December, but I can't not. I mean, it bummed me out so bad when we went and saw them at out in Mountain View, and he ended the show
with Hurt, right? I mean, well,
it was what he said. He said, like, thank you, that's it. And they left. And I was like, fuck, I'm never going to see Nine Inch Nails ever again.
Yeah, he said that this was going to be the last
time as far as this iteration. Fuck. And then the prior one to that, the reason why that held so strong to me was the prior one to that was the Farewell Tour, where they did all the bars. I don't know if you remember that or not.
No.
So they played bars.
Oh, wait. Is this the one that... Because I heard the story about the slip. Was the slip the thing that he went into a bathroom?
I think that's the story, is that the one of the albums, it was either the Slipper with Teeth or something like that. Basically, it was recorded. He said, fuck the record label, and he literally took it and put it in bathrooms and didn't have a label on it, and people got it, and then people started spreading it through the internet, being like, the new Nine Inch Nails album is here, it's free. And that's when he started giving away. That's when he gave away that whole next album, which I think was like Year Zero.
Yeah,
and it was awesome. No, this was. They were done. It was over. That
was the best show I've ever been to.
Which one?
Nine Inch Nails at. I'd seen them twice before, but and I've gone to a lot of shows, but like that was the best show at Shoreline, and there was no moshing. Because you had to be up in the fucking, up in the back to mosh. But, like, everyone was standing. He had me in rapt attention for, 2 hours or something? Just like...
It's an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
That's all they ever play for. It pisses me off still.
But bottom line is, we clapped nicely through Soundgarden. Been like, okay. And the guy was such a douche. I'm sorry he's dead, but fuck, man. Like, he literally got up and was like, this is from a little album called... Super Unknown, pause and wait for everyone to clap. Ugh, you fucking whatever. You know what I mean? And then Trent gets up, doesn't say a fucking word, starts, and just, boom, just fucks my face for 2 hours, hour and a half. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, how do you... And I'm standing. There's no moshing. He had me in rapt attention for an hour and 15 minutes.
So years before that, I think it was... I'm not going to say the year because I don't know. They did a tour where it was the farewell tour. It was done. And they played fucking bars. 350 people max.
Jesus.
I have the recordings. They're not that great, but they're fucking...
The hot, sweaty violence of those bars. Dude,
I
want to be
They
in
were
there so
2 hour long shows.
Did you go?
No.
Okay.
I could have, though. It was in L.A. I think it was at CBGB's or something like that. And
I think that's New York.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Whatever is in L.A., the Viper Room
Roxy?
or something.
Roxy, maybe? I don't know.
It might have been the Roxy. $350. At that time, that was a lot of money.
Right.
I'm being a pompous asshole now.
Yeah, you are.
At that time, it was a lot of money. Like, it was like thousands of dollars to get like $350.
Right.
Now it'd be like, I'm going.
Right.
I would just drop of a hat, I'm gone. I don't give a fuck about bills right now.
Sure.
And I didn't go. And I got the recordings, and there's one, I'll have to give it to you. It sort of sucked because it was totally recorded on like a guy's phone, and there's guys right next to him, and this guy's freaking out.
Right.
They played the Downward Spiral front to back.
Oh, that's delicious.
And then still played for another hour.
What a fucking cocksucker he is.
Another, like, everything. One of the best shows I saw of theirs was in Colorado. I saw them play. They were going to play, I think it was 3 nights in Colorado, and I saw them the last night. And the first night they played a lot of new shit. The second night I heard they sort of mixed it up. The third night they just went for fucking old school set. I mean, started off with Pinion and went right in, and it was like, and it's what they're doing now, where there's no fucking lights and stage show and all that stuff.
Fuck it, right.
It was them on stage, white lights, boom, go.
Right.
I was shit-faced, which I'm
sure.
It was the With Teeth tour, and fuck the pit. The whole floor was the fucking pit because I went from one side of the Fillmore in Colorado to the other side of the Fillmore in Colorado in a matter of seconds.
Right.
And it was the whole floor was jumping, and it was like it felt like the 90s again, where it was like people are into it and people are going. Now you go to shows and like you don't even get the 90s jump.
And this is what I'm saying. The reason why the give a fuck matters, the reason why all of this, because what does he do when it's all popping? And I'm sure he has bad shows, and I think one of the times I saw him, it was like, man, but like, what, like when it's on and when you're present and when you're, and I'm sure his own spiritual practices play into that, but when you're present and it's on and popping, what in the fuck is going on in that goddamn room? What happened at Shoreline that day? Connection. It goes back to the same shit. When you give a fuck, when you're not jaded, when you're not being, oh, this fucking show, oh, this song again, oh, this blah, 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 or, oh, I've got things to do at home, you know, as an audience member, oh, I've got, you know, blah, blah. When you're present in the moment, splashing around in the humanity, that's what fucking matters, being right there in that fucking room, touching people. Physically, I mean, that's part of what moshing is. You know what I mean? You can call it gay all you want, but that shit's gay. Like, you're just fucking mashing your body into another person's body at full speed, you know, ramming, like...
Yeah, you're that asshole.
No. Oh, fuck you.
I did hear that.
Moshing is that.
I'm a small guy, so I don't like that.
Yeah. But, no, dude, the last time I moshed, I don't know if I talked about it, but because I've lost weight, I'm like, oh, I'm not as, like, I can't fuck people up like I gotta get some muscle on me.
I got laughed at so bad. I went to see Danzig, in Santa Cruz, and I went with my boss, who's a good friend of mine, too. And I was cutting weight for competing, and I was down to like I walk around about 170, and I was down to about 160.
Wow.
And I'm in this pit, and I literally like started sort of going, and I hit this guy, and I'm strong. I mean, I'm ready to go beat people up the next day.
Right.
I bounced 6 feet back.
Right.
Because I was so light, and he just starts laughing his ass off, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't be in this pit. Like, I'm too small.
Right.
I'm gonna get destroyed." I love him though. Lamb of God is one of those places where it still goes on, where it's still like, okay, this is what it's about. Mm-hmm. There's nobody's fucking on their goddamn phone.
Right.
I wish you could outlaw phones.
Let's pause that. Get off your fucking phone, cocksucker. I was at a show. I was at Punch Brothers last week. I could go off on a whole rant. I love Chris Thiele and everything he does. It's a banjo, you know. It's not your style, but like Punch Brothers are fucking delicious.
You don't know
that. But anyway, he's really, really good. But like multiple times in the show, it was like, you know, now we're gonna do a 3-song block about how we all dislike Trump. It was like, okay, all right, cocksucker, you have artistical leeway to do it, but can you just also whatever? Anyway. But he was literally doing a song that's about get off your phone.
While people are on their phone.
And a motherfucker right in front of us picked up his phone and was videoing it. And that's when I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but like I the way I perform, like I don't want to be one of those mystique performers like Trent, where like the only thing he says the whole show is thank you and hey, this is probably the last time. Like I like talking to people. I like connecting. Well, like I'll sing. I like to sing a song and touch people. Oh no, he loves doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying at the show, I want to like fucking talk about the girl in the green shirt and titties, or I want to joke around about this. Anyway. But that's my style. Anyway, what were you saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Fucking people on cell phones at concerts.
Oh yeah.
I don't, and it's
fucking disrespectful. And you don't even care about it. Like I don't watch the old videos of stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe
and you post it and you can't hear shit because the bass is so crazy and it just gets distorted.
Right.
Like, what are you using this for? I tremendously miss those old shows that I used to go to, and there's a few bands that I will always see because it feels like back then. Bad Religion is one. Actually, funny story about Bad Religion. Bad Religion opened up for Pearl Jam at that first show.
Wow.
And
that's a weird mix.
Well, they had Bad Religion, and then they had a blues guy from Chicago. I forget who it was.
Yeah, that's Eddie being a dick. That's Eddie.
He was awesome.
No, I'm sure he was, but awesome. It's Eddie. Anyway, waving a flag. Sorry, continue.
You hate Eddie better? I don't mind him.
I don't hate him. I don't mind him.
I don't mind him.
He's just like, look, I really respect black artists. Here's this black artist to show you how much I respect. Sorry, continue.
But there's those bands that still have that feel to them, where like if you got your cell phone out, you're gonna lose it. If you're on the floor with your cell phone, it's going to get knocked out of your hand because it's moving hard.
Right.
Like we are not. This floor is not stopping. We are moving. We are jumping.
Right.
One of the most fun shows I've been to since 2006. I went and saw The Prodigy
I was just listening to Breathe yesterday,
Dude.
saying like I got to talk to Alex about fucking Prodigy.
I went and saw them at the Warfield.
I feel like that wouldn't be because they're not playing instruments. That would be a weird show.
Oh my god, it was fucking the
what
one.
Year?
It sold out like 2010.
Oh wow, okay.
And they've never been back to the United States since.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Which I'm so glad I made it to that show.
Right.
You jumped the whole fucking. There was a pit the whole time. You jumped the whole time. It was like
the whole time.
It was the '90s all over again, and they are unbelievable live. I mean that whole the Chemical Brothers. I mean, I have all that other techno shit that I still listen to this day,
sure.
but they just everybody was into it.
Right.
There was no fucking stupid drunk people. Everybody was older, which was cool.
Yeah.
It was like the people who were going to go were the people that were still into it because they have been so far away that no new kids like started to get into it all of a sudden because they listened to the Prodigy.
And plus the guarantee the ticket was not like $20. It was expensive, right?
No, it was like $35.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was cheap.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was like totally normal prices, which was amazing and that was probably with all the charges and shit.
Right.
And then I saw Combi Christ at the DNA Lounge. And
wow, that's a small venue for like a band.
And then then I saw him at Slim's and they were it was horrible.
Oh yeah.
I hate shows at Slim's.
Slim's is weird.
The polls like ruin a show. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I love going to concerts and I love music. The thing that it brings now is just it just is horrible. Like
what do you feel is different? You keep saying like this is
the people are different.
90s. What do you mean? Well, besides the phone thing. I mean, the phone is a symptom of
everyone's there to be able to get a story, not to have an experience. Instead of going to have the experience to get to see the band, people are going so they can get a story, or it's because like it's the cool thing to do. Like I've seen Atmosphere now, let's just say 16 times. I've been seeing Atmosphere live since 2000 and
the rapper, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since 2001, I think, and I've seen him a lot, and I've seen the change. I mean, the first show I ever saw him at, he started playing Overcast, and he started playing Scapegoat from that, and that was in the time when Napster started and like people were downloading music, and and I know it was something that was scripted that he did a lot. But he stopped the whole fucking show and he said, "How many of you motherfuckers downloaded this?" And everyone's like, "Woo!"
Oh no!
And he's like, "You all owe me a fucking $1."
Yep.
And him and the DJ went out in the crowd and started grabbing dollar bills from people, and then went back and started the fucking song.
Yay! Attaboy. That's
and I was
fucking
I was like, holy shit, this is I'm never missing this show. And I saw the change of people and everything that started to happen. And I got older too. And his music started changing. But now I've just seen it recently and it's like he's into it, but at the same time, like the people that are there are just there to fucking smoke weed and it's the girls that are like, "Oh my god, I'm having my fun night out." And it's like, I'm here to fucking enjoy the artist that I only
think
get to
about
see.
it from even this perspective. At the Punch Brothers thing, it took me 5 minutes to go online, find the tickets, press the buttons, fill in my info. Get the ticket, didn't even get sent to my house. It was in my email, and I could search it and find it in 2 seconds when I went there. You know what I mean? I don't think I even realized. I was like, wait, what time of it? I looked up the time of the show that day. I knew it was around 7, 8, but I looked at, like it's an easy experience. You ran to the mall, waited at the mall,
left the mall,
and called repeatedly to use your parents' credit. You know what I mean? Like that had value because you worked for it.
Yeah, 9 Inch Nails was the first 9 Inch Nails show was that way. You had to call.
Right. And now there's not work for it. Why would they? Why would there be value?
Well, and
at the same time, it's great.
That's what I love about that 9 Inch Nails ticket. Even though I didn't get to have the experience, I'm a little bummed. I'm a little bummed that it didn't sell out.
I see what you mean.
But people showed up.
Wait, it didn't sell out?
No.
Bill Graham?
No, it did. It did after the fact. After they finally released them, because they also released them online the next day.
Oh, they did?
And then it sold out.
Oh, okay.
I was a little bit bummed. I mean, the Bill Graham holds like 6,000 people.
Right.
It's fucking... I didn't realize it was that big.
Right.
But I was so happy when he put that out. When he put the whole thing out on whatever he put it out on and said, like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Right.
But we've lost something in the whole aspect of going to a show.
Right.
And I'm going to try it.
What a give a fucker. What a give a fucker.
And he said,
God damn it.
And he said, some people are going to fucking hate it.
Right.
And some people are going to love it.
Right.
And it may work. It may not work. We may do it again. I don't really know, but we're going to try it.
Right.
And it was just like... And I was going to pay people to get me tickets because I was like, it's going to sell out. Like, people are that passionate, like I'm that passionate, that they're going to show up and go line up. And there were people that lined up fucking way earlier than they were supposed to line up, and it was all this crazy shit. And it's just like, he brought it back.
If I could, like, my goal is to, you were talking about Downward Spiral. I want to mosh to March of the Pigs before I die.
Oh, fucking December 3rd. It's there.
That motherfucker better goddamn play that song. Because all 3 times I've seen Trent was once at the Roseland Amphitheater.
And you were way up in the fucking balcony.
Way in the fucking balcony. Same thing in Seattle. Way up in the fucking balcony. It was a great show. But then Shoreline doesn't have a fucking pit. It's like a goddamn,
it's a goddamn workout.
Yeah, and we're just standing there, and it was the best show I've ever seen, and I didn't move from the fucking spot. That's how good the show is. But I will bleed for that fucking experience. I want blood.
when I went and saw them at Outside Lands, fuck, that was awful.
Well, yeah, because it's festival. Festival's no good.
No, the show was awesome. Everything that went up to the show was just like, I hated every single part of it. Because I was like, I don't want to be around all these people.
Right. I mean, that's what I talked about at the Aftershock Festival. I mean, I don't know how Tool is outside of that, but like, it was an okay. I mean, it was like an hour-long set because, again, it's a festival. Everybody's getting, an hour.
They don't play very much longer than that. But the times I've never been into Tool. I still don't understand. And I'm not saying I don't like Tool.
No,
I've never been into it, and the people that are devoted to it, I don't understand because
album.
There's a rapper that I listen to that's like, he used to like Tool until they made the same album over and over and over and over again because they all fucking sound the same.
Right? No, they do. But here's the thing, and that Anima is such an important album in my life, and I fucking adore all of the music on there, and I can't, Schism's great, Lateralist, blah blah blah. There's some great songs out there, but it's not that. When I saw him at Aftershock, and I don't think, from what I've heard, it's the same over and over, he's so weirdly jaded and above it that, like, now he doesn't even put the spotlight on him, and he just,
okay.
Like, suck a dick. Maynard, thanks for the memories, but don't do that. Like, if you're too jaded to touch us and connect with us, fuck off. If you're too above it or too, like, then fuck off. If you don't like your fan base, fuck off. Yeah. Like, just because, do a fucking Pucifer for the rest of your life. My hat's off to you. I have to respect your fucking, fuck you, man. Like, you're deciding to be here. You're volunteering to make another album with these same people. You're volunteering. Yeah. Either volunteer and put your balls into it, or get the fuck home. Go home. Sorry.
You're invested in Tool. I'm not. So I've seen Tool, I think, twice, and it was both at the Bill Graham.
Okay.
And the first one, I was irritated because I wanted that Maynard experience.
Right.
Because I had seen the shows from the 90s, and I was like, I want to see them all in blue and fucking go beat people up.
Yeah, I want to see him dressing like a girl.
So that didn't happen. Right. And I was just like, man, okay, cool. The next show, I took a different perspective.
Okay.
And Tool Live is one of the most amazing bands I've ever fucking seen because they are...
Danny Carey, I think, the drummer?
They are so talented. And I saw it differently the next time because I was more interested in the band and what they were playing than in him. Because Tool is not fucking Maynard. Tool is those guys.
Yeah.
And I started going like, I wonder if he realized that.
Yeah.
Like, these guys need the attention they fucking deserve. This band is not me. Me,
It sounds like the ego is more.
This is me. This is me hoping that's what it is. But I took that perspective on that show, and I had a completely different experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was so into every single note that was being played, and the way the bass hit, and the way everything flowed I mean, there was no the show was exactly the same. There was no difference. I think a couple songs were mixed up, but the light show and all that kind of shit was about the same. And it was a completely different experience because I said, Tool is not fucking Maynard. Tool is these guys.
Right.
And listening to them and hearing what they can do and how they can do it with these instruments, it's like, holy fuck,
Touché.
This is different.
Right.
Would I go play to see Tool again? No. Like I'm like, okay, cool. I had the Tool experience.
Yeah, I moshed to fucking what was it? Stinkfist. You know, I moshed to Anima. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, you're like effectively. It's not just connection; it's also fantasy. Like I was saying, of like the story that Trent made with March of the Pigs, and then we're all fucking pigs. Marching, like we're all running and step right up, push. You know what I mean? Like crawl right up. Like that's fucking like we like. It's both he's connecting and interacting and being the fucking puppeteer, and we are the happy puppets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And we are playing out our own fantasy and stuff, but like in a physical realm, we are this physical manifestation of the give a fuck, of the art, of the direction that he's bringing us, and it's memory, it's fantasy, and it's presence, and it's perfect.
They always change it just a little bit.
Yeah,
I remember listening because they started playing "Sanctified" again, which is one of my favorite.
I remember that.
It's one of my favorite fucking songs off Pretty Hate Machine. Which, if you really listen to Pretty Hate Machine, it is the most fucking depressing album there is.
Sure.
And I realize whenever I'm severely depressed at any point in time,
away from Sanctified.
No, I listen to it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like gravitate right towards Pretty Hate Machine, and I'm like, I love this fucking album. And it's like, why do I love this album right now? Oh yeah, because I feel like shit.
Right.
But they started playing Sanctified, and they started adding like a heavier bass line, and they started adding like a little bit more melodic shit in the background, and I'm like, wow.
That's probably like Atticus too.
All this, you know, it is. There's stuff that Atticus brought in. There's stuff that I don't know who the new drummer is or where he came from, but he's fucking unbelievable. But I remember seeing Sanctified a long, long time ago, and from all the from the videos and stuff, and old live. We used to have a competition to see who could own the most 9 Inch Nail CDs in the 90s. It was rough.
Yeah.
And like bootlegs that we had, and Sanctified would always be played, and a lot of the Pretty Hate Machine stuff would always be played the exact same way it was on the album. And now to hear, in the years that I've seen them, in the last almost 10 years I've been seeing them. Every year it's changed a little bit. I'll never forget seeing them at the Oracle and him having an entire orchestra.
Wow.
And it was like, this is the most unbelievable fucking show, except for the fact that it's at Oracle. And literally it was like, can you turn the volume up like 2 more notches because it's just not loud enough. Like I need it louder. But it was a whole fucking Then they played a bunch of the Ghost stuff. Sure. That was a long show.
The Ghost stuff.
Oh yeah, lots of instrumentals.
Did people give a fuck? People gave a fuck, right? I mean, obviously you stop a little bit because they're not playing headline a whole.
You know why everybody gave a fuck is because you're so entrenched in the 9 Inch Nails show.
Exactly.
And you came there to see 9 Inch Nails because you don't know when you're going to see them again. They have that habit where they go away. And he sort of goes away and does whatever, and you don't know if you're going to you don't know when you're going to see them again. Like I'm still like this December 3rd show, after it's over, I'm going to go like, fuck, when are we going to see 9 Inch Nails again? Like, what's going to happen next? Because
the motherfucker's 55. Almost, you know, like
really?
He's 50, I think, somewhere around there. Yeah.
I mean, he's got his 2 kids are getting a little bit older now, and it's like that's why he took time off. He's got fucking kids. Like, I get it. You're you can't just give all your time to us. Like, yes, you get to go have a fucking family.
Right.
On top of like all the movie shit he's been doing, his doing in all of the Apple Music stuff that's going on, and how Apple Music is doing so fucking well. I mean, he keeps everything going, which is in so many different ways that people don't realize is going on.
Right.
And he just doesn't get the credit for it, and he doesn't even care about getting the credit for it. Because he has the love of fucking doing it, because of the shit that he's been through his entire life. I mean, being so fucking strung out from cocaine, from a downward spiral, and being in that depression that he was in, to to Bowie taking him on the tour, getting off the drug, starting to get, I don't know what he is, if he's sober or whatever he is, but
from what I've heard, yeah, he's sober.
He's different. Yeah. He's not fucked up anymore.
Right.
To fucking Hulk Trent Reznor when he fucking was probably doing
I like beef-ass.
And he was fucking
I like beef-ass Trent, dude.
The video I saw today, his arms were like normal. He was like singing and he got the mic and his arms are normal. I'm like, oh, thank God you got off that kick. Like, you look just so weird. Like, you were this scrawny, like, shitty guy wearing fucking electrical tape in the 90s. Like, just this, and then now you're muscly man, and it was like, oh, fuck. Right. You're still great, but, like, come on, man. Like, let's get off the HGH.
Right.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that show. There's so many other shows that were like staples of my life. The first time I saw Slipknot was one of the greatest experiences I ever had. I saw them right after the Ozfest tour, and Biohazard opened for them. I fucking love Biohazard. And again, that was another one of those pits where nothing was happening. Nothing. Biohazard's on, the first song starts going, nothing is happening on the floor at the House of Blues in Chicago. Oh. Then all of a sudden, all you see is a cup of beer go about 15 feet in the air, and the whole fucking floor is one big pit, and I was like, this is the greatest experience I've ever had in my entire life. And then getting to crowd surf during Slipknot and crowd surfing.
Good for you, man.
I used to crowd surf.
I've never been light enough to do it. Now I'm light enough to. Well, maybe.
Now it's just dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Back then it wasn't dangerous, but crowd surfing while they were playing Surfacing, and it was like, fuck it all, fuck this world, you know. And being like 2 middle fingers up and then facing Corey Taylor and looking right at him and flipping him off and him flipping me off. And I was like, I fucking made it. I will never miss another one of your shows. That's awesome. And then they started to get way too popular and then I stopped going.
Sure.
And it's another band that like those memories will always stick with me of like, this is. And when I go to shows, it's like my job at the show is to try and replicate that for somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been shows I went and saw Dropkick Murphys at the fucking, I don't remember where.
That'd be fun.
They were cool. But
yeah, I feel like Gogol Bordello would be very similar. Where like I'm not super into the music, but like the vibe, the show.
You want a hard ass pit?
You know what I mean?
Go to fucking
Dropkick
Flogging Molly.
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck, that's a hard.
Oh, I guess I was confusing them two. Who's the ones who are fucking
the same.
Irish?
They're
all right.
One's a little bit more punk rock, one's a little bit more folk, but fuck, man, you get like goddamn jocks in there, and they're fucking huge, and they got beers, and they're
you ever
been headlocked by a 6'6"
and like, Gogol Bordello? Have you ever heard of Gogol Bordello?
I have heard of it.
Yeah, they're the ones who did. Did you ever see the movie Everything Is Illuminated?
No.
So they what's better? Start wearing purple. No. Like they're Russian. Like,
oh, okay.
But it's like that same like fucking they have a song called
it's rugby music.
Have you ever been to American Wedding? Where is the vodka? Where is marinated herring? Like they're talking about jumping in and splashing around and it's the party crazy get drunk for 3 days crazy type of show. Same thing as what sounds to be Flogging Molly.
We were at Dropkick Murphy, and we were right up on the rail. Mm-hmm. And there was... This is probably... this made my night, because I didn't really... I'm not into Dropkick Murphys, and I was there with the girlfriend I had at the time. And there was this guy that had his little brother with him. And they were right behind me. And his little brother was fucking tiny. And I was like, fuck, that was me.
Right.
And I literally fucking grabbed the kid from the middle of the back and picked him up and put him right in front of me on the fucking rail. I made his fucking night. And I left him on the rail like half the show. And then I think they walked away or whatever. And it was like, that's my job. Mm-hmm. My job is to make sure that everybody stays safe and everybody has a good fucking time.
Right.
Because I've gotten to have that experience.
Right.
And you know, and when I'm in the fucking pit, I got the biggest fucking grin on my face. Everyone's like mean face, and like, fuck no, I got the biggest grin on my face.
Right.
Those motherfuckers that stand in the middle that are like, I'm in the middle of the pit. I'm like, fuck you. I go right through you.
That's what the Primus show this last month was, you know, we
all
moshed.
When did that become a fucking thing? Slayer started that.
Okay.
Totally different tangent. Okay, what's the difference between Slayer and ICP? This is not a joke.
What?
Fucking nothing. The goddamn fans are just as stupid.
Really? Oh, I see. I see what you mean. I feel like that way about Tool.
If you listen to Slayer, you only listen to Slayer and Slayer. If you listen now,
you have to take it very seriously.
You ever seen ICP live?
No.
Go. Fucking
I'm good.
The three shows I've gone to, it's an experience that everyone should have. It is awesome.
You're such an ass going more than once.
Ask. I'll tell you who to ask, and he will tell you. It's up there with Guar. There's no reason to go, and their music is what it is. But it was like the most amazing. So I'm at the Slayer show in San Jose. This is years ago, and it's before Slayer comes. The only reason I went was because Gojira opened,
right?
And I just wanted to see Gojira,
sure,
because God, they're fucking good.
Yeah.
And these two Slayer fucking retards, the lights are up, and they're sitting there, and they're just charging at each other with their heads.
Yeah.
And then a girl comes in and is punching one of them, and I'm like, God damn it. Like, Juggalos and fucking Slayer fans are no goddamn different.
Right.
And I'm just like, I hate this shit. And we stayed for half a Slayer, then left. Right. And I was like, I fucking hate this band. Right. I don't understand the big Slayer fans. Congratulations, Kerry King can play the same solo backwards and forwards, but it's like, you're Satan worshipping guys, but your lead singer is a born again Christian. Like, what the fuck?
So the guys, and I do want to wrap up because I got to piss again, and it's 2 hours and 49 seconds or 49 minutes. But
Jesus Christ,
I know we're very vocal, and the fucking air is on again, and I know I'm just tripping out, but I'm like, it sounds bad. Anyway.
I know how to fix it.
No, it's always fucking cold in this motherfucker, and I have to go on and turn the shit off because these cocksuckers who are, I weigh 3 pounds and I'm a computer programmer, so now I have to go.
Now you know every day of my life.
Anyway,
that is my job.
But I'm smiling at the fucking Primus show, and we're all like having a blast, like we're gonna fuck each other up, and then high-fiving. I love being the guy high-fiving. Good job, everybody. You know, we survived. You know what I mean? I love being that. You know what I mean?
There's something about it after the show's all over with, and you're all sweaty, and you're all gross, and you're bruised, and you're battered.
Bruised. I was fucking black.
And you find the guys that you were having a blast with, and you go, good fucking show. Like you're saying good game, like you just played basketball.
Exactly.
Good fucking show, man.
Good fucking yeah. I saw you out there. This motherfucker.
And there's something that I love being that guy because I'm a small guy. I'm not a big guy.
Right.
I have no reason to be in there fucking getting my ass whooped. Right. But I'll go grab every motherfucker out there and just have a blast with them.
Right.
So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to piss so fucking badly.
So do I.
Thank you very much for doing this. I mean that. Except the gratitude.
If you want to do it again, we can do it again.
Obviously, we'll talk for another 3 fucking hours like faggots.
I didn't realize we talked for 3 hours.
Yeah, I guess you don't have anything to plug, so you're not DJing anytime soon.
No.
Right.
Just everybody get better. Jesus Christ. Get off fucking social media.
But how are they listening to me?
About politics. And just become better.
Right.
Deal with what's around you, not what you can't control.
Connect with people.
I have to piss so fucking bad.
We'll see you guys December 3rd.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.